fucking days. Hello, everyone. We got a big day today. Long schedule. I have a PowerPoint ready for us. Let's see which one I'm under here. Scene selection. Okay. I have this QR code system in the bottom right corner. All the videos that we're going to watch on the left. All of the links to the videos on YouTube individually. If you want to watch them or comment on the original, or have a way to, see or subscribe to the people, there's going to be this QR code that's changing in the bottom right corner, and it will take you. I haven't verified that all 50 are like 100%, so we're going to kind of go along with it right now and see if I messed up, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, I think I got it. But this is going to be a new format. I'm not going to have the slides here forever. It's just kind of to designate the spot, and I might be able to make it more transparent on a different platform other than PowerPoint slide presentation. Although this isn't a video, this is actually an OBS slideshow just using the slides. So I figured it'd be easier to do that than to just on my hardware, because I'm live streaming right now, nothing's moving on my Xbox and it's at 57% computer PCU usage. So I'm rocking pretty well while having the live stream in the bottom corner as well, and the preview's on, so I can do this and show you guys. Let's see, the Ammo Nation thing is kind of a later on. I'm doing more Fallout right now, so here, let me see what I could do with that. Where is it? Image, I gotta rename it. Ammo Nation 76. Unlock. Properties. I'm just gonna put it over here and throw it behind. You're fine. And throw it behind here. Yeah, that works. Okay, and then I'll be able to lock that, put my webcam. Or we'll do the screen capture more. Where is it? Your video capture. Unlock. Here. Oh, maybe that's the wrong one. No, it was the screen display. Capture. Boom. Lock. And load. Okay. So I'm gonna be mainly harvesting caps in Fallout New Vegas, so you don't really care for the overlay where my health is, okay? Like, I have 2 endurance. I die all the time. If you've been paying attention the last 7 streams, it just, sometimes I'm great, sometimes I'm not. It depends on if I have ammo and if I have heals. If I don't have heals... Anastasia, can you be quiet a little bit? I mean, for the love of God. My ears are starting to hurt. I mean, just, you're so loud. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, I die all the time in Fallout New Vegas because I'm doing this special build thing. I don't have very much endurance, meaning I don't have a lot of health. So, I mean, I think it's kind of, if you see me, I'm over here tackling legions with like 3 endurance. And it doesn't always work. but I'll show you what the luck is used for and why I like using a lucky build. So while we get that up and running, we're going to get the slideshow going. So as you can see, you see how fast they tear through me. If I'm not moving, if I don't get to cover immediately, and sometimes if I don't save in the correct spot, like I feel like I'll have to load and do a back save because of how crazy this game is right now for me. And I guess I could get an implant for endurance to upgrade my endurance, but it just seems like extra right now. So let's see, I gotta get the stuff on the side loaded up here, and then I have to get the sound tested, and then I'll play. But as you can tell, see, like it doesn't take very much. Okay, so I'm gonna disable the preview, go over here, put it in the corner, try to put it in the corner, and let's see, load up PowerPoint. And open and start. All right, so here's my slides, guys. This will be our first video. Minnesota federal agents make more arrests. DHS push back protesters. And all these are QR links to take you to the link or the YouTube link. I just have my Discord thing in the middle. I tried to make them fancy. I ended up taking too much time doing that, so I dropped doing that, but it was only around, it doesn't cost very much to make QR codes, let's put it that way. And then I'm trying to make an app that does it for free, so we'll figure this out one way or another. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Like, that's not what I expected. Okay, bro. Like, come on now. Just go to the link. Caramba. Okay. Well, that was a flub. Let's see here. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I could see the YouTube link there. When I clicked on it, it took me to some extension browser shit that literally didn't happen about 5 minutes ago, so kind of irritated, but oh well. I'm just gonna open up the link like this. Okay, I'm done. I'm just, I don't care. I got you guys the slides for the bottom, and that's all this was for. Is it really going to be persistent about this? Like, I will look it up myself. Like, I mean, I'm gonna just steal the QR code. I mean, this is insane. Edit. It's not a support link. This is not a support link. What the fuck is happening? Oh God, the frustration. Okay. I hope I don't have to do that to everyone. And if I do, I'm gonna literally have to take all the hyperlinks off for the next slides. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna go in there and grab them. If I knew that, I would have had them hidden in like white ink or something. Like, this is crazy, bro. Technology is supposed to make it easier. I mean, when I was clicking on the links earlier, it went right to it. Tried to make it to where you could just click on, like, as if you were scanning it. I'm clicking on it, and it's not working. So, say hello to Windows 8, right? All right, so no support here. Boom. And I'm just gonna paste it in there and go, because I can't even describe what is happening right now. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna take this off the screen because that's not really doing much anymore. Put this over here. Oh, come on. I mean, this is crazy. Either my thing is thermal throttling like a MF, or I do not know what the problem is. And my CPU is solid at 55 right now. Like, there's no reason for this to be this incooperative.
Federal officials and lawmakers have announced a drawdown of federal agents. Those on the streets say they still have plenty of sightings and protests are still happening.
I am telling you guys, the Minnesota story is far from over as far as deportation operations. For the last week now, there has been a common theme for observers on the ground, local lawmakers on the ground, and protesters. Although there is some sort of drawdown from federal agents, it doesn't look like federal agents have slowed down at all as far as how many people are being arrested and these deportation operations being conducted. And here's what people are not realizing. This is all being done with just hundreds of federal agents.
Okay, so we're getting there, folks. Here we go. I'm just trying to get this thing to load, man, because, like, I got the links up there for you to be able to watch them on your own, man. I'm just really trying to hear this. I don't need to see their pores, all right? I'm just trying to get this done.
Federal officials and lawmakers have announced a drawdown of federal agents. Those on the streets say they still have plenty of sightings and protests are still happening.
I am telling you guys, the Minnesota story is far from over as far as deportation operations. For the last week now, there has been a common theme for observers on the ground, local lawmakers on the ground, and protesters. Although there is some sort of drawdown from federal agents, it doesn't look like federal agents have slowed down at all as far as how many people are being arrested and these deportation operations being conducted. And here's what people are not realizing. This is all being done with just hundreds of federal agents, not thousands of federal agents in the state of Minnesota.
In addition to restricting the use of masks, there's also a bill to allow Minnesotans to sue federal officials if civil rights are violated.
So here's where things are getting interesting, and we see this a lot with sanctuary cities or jurisdictions, where now we have lawmakers in the state of Minnesota wanting to possibly pass a mask ban law in Minnesota, or try to possibly pass a law where individuals can sue for civil rights violations. I mean, here's a very recent example. This is the mayor of Chicago. Mayor Brandon Johnson signs ICE on notice executive order directing CPD to document misconduct and pursue prosecution of federal agents. But in this video, of course, we are focusing on Minnesota lawmakers and the reaction from people in Minnesota as far as this federal drawdown, yet there are still a lot of arrests being conducted. So let's dig into this together and see what the recent updates are in Minnesota. And make sure to please like this video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. It's a massive help, and I think people are going to want to see what's going on here.
Lawmakers have announced a drawdown of federal agents. Those on the streets say they still have plenty of sightings, and protests are still happening. Jason Rantala shows us what a North Metro woman witnessed outside a city building.
I learned from a neighborhood watch group that there were multiple confirmed ICE vehicles.
This is what legal observer Colette Adkins says she spotted Friday morning. Masked men in tactical gear and out-of-state plates in the parking lot of the Coon Rapids Police Department. Adkins says she saw a man being handcuffed.
What's your name?
That's when she says agents sounded their sirens, surrounding her vehicle with theirs. A terrifying moment, she says.
I absolutely was thinking about what happened to Renee Good that day, and I think a lot of observers have those images go through their minds.
Okay, so I hope you...
I'm in a rotten mood.
You
try to keep up, all right?
regret this.
Come on, man!
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible. Where vibe coding meets drag and drop freedom. We'll see about that. All right, let me try to make up a site to sell some like theoretical kombucha. Make me a site about kombucha. Make it look nice and pretty and highlighting the product. Refine my prompt. Okay, let's do that. All right, that's so much better. All right, generate my site. So now Aria, my AI assistant, is planning things out a bit, so I'm gonna let it cook. Okay, just finishing the build, and wow, are you kidding me? I typed in like the dumbest prompt, and then I refined it, then I generated a site. Now I have an actual website. Oh,
Good freaking.
So I hope you guys caught that. The use of legal observers and the use of neighborhood watches. Even though there is a drawdown, there are still legal observers or ICE watchers and neighborhood watches who are still on high alert as far as looking for federal agents. But where things get interesting is that I have been paying attention to all of this. I am constantly monitoring, you know, are people getting arrested? Are there any sort of clashes between ICE agents? You almost cannot find any videos of any sort of activity. This is because a lot of legal observers are saying it looks like ICE has gone away from the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul and have pushed into either suburbs or the countryside or really small towns where it's very hard to find them. And this is why I think the mainstream media was a little hesitant to even cover this story. I mean, now CBS is covering it after like 2 weeks of people saying, hey, ICE is leaving, but there are a lot of arrests being conducted. Now, I did find a person who actually gave an update from the perspective of what's happening on the ground. Check this out real quick.
And I am coming to you from Minneapolis to tell you that ICE activity here has not died down. We are still seeing the same levels that we were seeing a month ago. I know they said that they were withdrawing, things were going to be drawing down, and 700 agents had left, and even more would be leaving this week, but that is just simply not what we are seeing here in Minneapolis. We continue to see multiple abductions every single day, not just in Minneapolis and not just in St. Paul, but across our entire metro area and in our rural areas too.
Now, for those of you saying, well, if it's only 2 a day, that's not that much, that's actually a lot considering how much work goes into just one investigation. We're talking about warrants, the actual investigation, and putting together the team to find the individual. So 2 a day is actually a lot more than people realize. Maybe not at the highest of frequencies that was originally being done with the thousands of federal agents, but that's still concerning, as you can hear, to a lot of people who are reporting on this or are not in favor of deportation operations on the ground.
Actually seeing more activity in those outer suburbs and more rural areas than we did in the beginning of all of this. And we continue to see extremely disturbing behavior from ICE agents, such as last week, a man was lured outside of his home by ICE agents pretending to have car trouble. He went outside to help out of the kindness of his heart, and then ICE vehicles pulled up and swarmed him from all directions and detained him.
Okay.
I just built a budgeting app.
What? How?
Base 44. Look, it pulls all our expenses into one place and breaks down spending by team.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible.
Nina can't code.
Interesting. Can it generate reports?
It can now.
Nice. That's actually pretty good. If you're going for generic.
How about now?
Oh, that's much better. What about all of our files?
It's already connected to our drive and our mail and Slack.
You gotta send this to finance.
Interesting. But it needs editing permission by department.
Sure. Anything else?
Can this thing process invoices?
Can it show cost growth by category?
Is it password protected? Can it track spending trends? Only could auto flag overspending.
Done.
Nice.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6th sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. Boom, boom. Major look, huh? Yeah, this one is for the books. All these chances I took still. I move straight on these rooks now. Hold me up or hold me down, have my back or hold my crown. Either you with me or not, but you better give all you got, cause I break this game. Can't control me. I got the power. I got the keys.
Okay, so leave your comments down below and let me know how you feel about this. But now I want to show you how far some people go to actually track this activity. I think this might shock some of you, but by now, I don't think you should be shocked. The Trump administration has said over and over, there are a lot of these legal observers or activists who go above and beyond to track our activity. Now, some people take it too far to where people can get arrested, but I am curious what you guys think about this.
This camera into Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
If we're not doing it, no one else is.
Benson is a volunteer with the 55th 51 who have documented detainees who leave on ICE flights.
I do believe we're in a new phase of operations here in the Twin Cities. That's what I'm seeing.
On this day, Benson says he watched 6 people board the ICE charter flight for Texas.
The numbers have actually been looking really good in the last week.
In the last week, the numbers have dropped, he says, some days with less than 10 people.
Friday was the first day that we did not have a deportation flight here at Minneapolis since January 5th.
Thursday's flight was the 70th that the group has tracked since the beginning of January.
Yeah, so at this point, again, please leave your comments down below and let me know how you feel about this and if you knew stuff like this even happened. I'm sure you assume there might be some tracking on a level of documenting like the number of people with deportations or getting deported, but yeah, this is how intricate a lot of the information we're seeing coming out of Minnesota has been, as far as quite literally documenting the flights leaving Minnesota, St. Paul and Minneapolis, but also tracking the number and where they are going. Again, a lot of journalists on the ground have been saying this over and over. It's the most intricate amount of volunteers and group efforts as far as either pushback or documentation against deportation efforts. So yeah, please leave your comments down below. I'm curious what you guys think about this. Okay, so moving forward, we haven't heard too much from Vice President J.D. Vance as far as federal activities, specifically in Minnesota. Well, recently he did an interview as far as his comments or concerns involving some comments coming out of Minnesota.
They should be paid money. They say that the federal government must pay for what they broke. Now all of a sudden they care about money. Apparently they didn't care about it with the fraud.
Yep.
What is your response to that?
Well, my response is on behalf of the American people, would like reparations from them for allowing Somali fraudsters to steal billions of dollars from the American taxpayer that live in Minnesota. They've done nothing to cut down on that fraud. So I think it's absurd for people to say, we want reparations. Reparations for what? Because we enforced the law that the American people elected us to do? Because we took people who were setting up fraudulent daycare centers and tried to get them out of this country? Because we took sex criminals out of neighborhoods and either put them in prison or sent them far away from the United States of America?
Now, real quick, I do want to clarify, this is not a popular talking point coming out of Minnesota as far as paying for reparations. What is the popular talking point, though, is Minnesota is potentially seeking some money back into the state, either in Minneapolis or the state of Minnesota, as far as the economic decline, according to lawmakers in Minnesota. Now, of course, the Trump administration has denied giving money for the economic decline and points the finger to Minnesota and is saying, like you're hearing from J.D. Vance, no, you guys need to fix your own situation. So keep in mind, right now, there is a lot of back and forth for this economic decline in Minnesota.
We're doing the job the American people elected us to do. No one is talking about anything other than enforce the law against criminal illegal aliens in the United States of America. It's really not that hard, and it's a huge indictment of Jacob Fry and, frankly, the entire far left, that they made that their cause of the day, letting violent sex offenders stay on the streets of America. The president's just not going to go for that.
Okay, so moving forward, as far as this fraud topic, as many of you are aware, this topic has really been the center of attention for the Trump administration in Minnesota, or there's been a lot of focus on this fraud. So much so that Tom Homan has made it clear that our federal agents in the state of Minnesota, they're not all there for deportation operations. A lot of them are there for these fraud investigations that the Trump administration has said they want to continue. Well, this was posted on February 20th, 79th person charged in feeding our future fraud scheme.
The person now facing charges in the feeding our future fraud scheme, Fahima Muhammad, faces 1 count of wire fraud. According to court documents, Muhammad operated a daycare center in Minneapolis and fraudulently claimed to have been serving thousands of meals a day under sponsorship from Feeding Our Future. According to court documents, Muhammad is the 79th person charged in connection with Feeding Our Future.
Now, I do want to point out, because I don't want to lead you down the wrong direction, if many of you are asking, like, where is the governor? Where is Keith Ellison, the AG? Where are the mayors? They are not saying there's no fraud in their state. What they are claiming is there's not as much fraud, or it's overinflated by the Trump administration. So keep that in mind. That is the main argument. They are not saying, and you will not find a clip where they are saying there's no fraud. Governor Tim Walz has made that clear. He's aware there's fraud, but what he's saying is it's not as much as what people are claiming. Now, whether or not you want to believe his statements, I'm simply just trying to lead you down the right direction. For those of you questioning, is the governor not saying anything? He is saying something, but he's not in agreement with the Trump administration for how bad it really could be. Okay, now...
You've been promised incredible things with AI, but has it actually lived up to all the hype? I can promise you that today it will. Introducing ClickUp Super Agents, the world's first AI agents that natively collaborate with humans and always have correct.
Okay, now let's get back to federal activity on the ground.
Hopefully third time's the charm.
After a visit inside the Whipple building Friday, Representatives Angie Craig and Ilhan Omar said federal agent numbers were now under 500.
There has been a drawdown.
But that alleged drawdown is not something Adkins says she's seeing in the northern suburbs.
Every day there's reports of abductions, of ICE activity. Just this morning there were numerous confirmed ICE vehicles in the Fridley area.
ICE is still in our community. They're still in the suburbs.
Minneapolis City Council member Jason Chavez says he too is still seeing confirmed ICE vehicles across South Minneapolis. He was part of...
And yes, to clarify, again, that was a city council member. One thing I found really interesting about the federal surge when it initially took place in Minneapolis, we didn't hear much from city councilors at all, like almost ever. I was looking for statements. Before the federal surge, we saw a lot of different statements. Some city councilors were hopping on TikTok. Some city councilors were getting involved with like pushback against ICE agents on the streets. But for whatever reason, a lot of them went silent. But now it looks like some of them are coming back to the public spotlight.
Across South Minneapolis. He was part of a Phillips and Powderhorn neighborhood meeting Sunday, in part to plan for the future with continued ICE activity.
We're still asking our neighbors to be vigilant. We're still asking neighbors to support our neighbors, and ICE is still here, and we're just developing next steps.
Okay, now I'm very interested in what lawmakers are saying or how they are reacting. Now, for some of you who might think this could be a little boring, like of course lawmakers are going to try and pass a law like a mask ban, the reason why this story really stands out and is very relevant to this topic we're talking about is because Tom Homan kind of left a little warning before he left Minnesota. First off, he said the reason why we had so many federal agents in Minnesota was because he needed more federal agents to help defend the other agents who were doing their mission as ICE agents or Border Patrol. There is quite literally a garrison of federal agents in Minnesota right now whose only job it is to protect other federal agents as they conduct their deportation operations. So keep that in mind moving forward, especially with Minnesota. The more laws you have pushing back against federal agents, the more you could possibly see federal agents coming back into Minnesota, considering they're facing pushback from either legal observers, protesters, and now lawmakers, which is why this story is very relevant. Because again, Tom Homan said, if there's no security element defending my agents and the local police, they're not working with us and helping us out, I will send in more federal agents.
As the Minnesota Senate debates bills about restricting the actions of federal agents in the state.
Chief political reporter Tom Hauser tells us what they're considering in response to the ICE surge.
You are complicit! After weeks of social media feeds and TV newscasts filled with images like this, Senate Democrats want to push back and hold federal agents accountable for their actions.
Community members, legal observers, even state employees have reported being shot in the face at point-blank range with chemical irritants, assaulted, and threatened by people that they could not identify and who refused to give their names or agencies.
In addition to restricting the use of masks, there's also a bill to allow Minnesotans to sue federal officials if civil rights are violated.
Now, real quick, I always have to bring this up whenever the mask topic is brought out, specifically for Minnesota. Over in California, their statewide mask ban has officially been dropped by the courts. They have to redo that ban and involve other federal agencies or all federal agencies. You cannot single out just ICE agents. It was seen as discriminatory or discrimination. So keep in mind, for other states pushing forward with a mask ban, it can't only be for ICE. It has to be law enforcement, like all law enforcement.
And another allowing lawsuits against a person for failing to allow medical personnel to render aid when someone is shot.
Back up, now!
I'm a physician.
Hey, listen, understand. We got EMS coming out.
That bill is the result of a doctor turned away from helping Renee Good after she was shot.
Since 1991, our law sets rendering aid as a requirement if a person shoots another or witnesses a shooting.
This hearing is intended as a first step to vet proposals by which we as a state can strengthen our ability to protect our residents from federal government overreach.
But Republicans say the state
Espíritus de Zona Arqueológica de San Mateo in Puente de Ixtla, Mexico. The locals speak of shadow figures roaming the ancient temple ruins at night. The cause? Manslaughter and war, unaliving poor souls beginning.
Republicans say the state should also consider more ways to work with federal authorities.
And that's always been the biggest pushback when it comes to lawmakers wanting to prevent or restrict certain actions with ICE agents instead of cooperation. And the Trump administration, they keep pulling out these statistics of when there's more cooperation, there seems to be less chaos, less people lose their lives, either from an illegal immigrant perspective or from a protester perspective. And West Virginia is the one stat that keeps being brought up as far as we had all this cooperation, no pushback at all. Nobody got hurt. Down in Louisiana, there was like only one case where somebody got hurt out of the hundreds of people who have been arrested during deportation operations.
From my perspective, if we're going to be looking at state-level policies, they should be opportunities for us to increase our level of cooperation with the federal government.
No votes were taken on the bills on Friday, but they will be considered for inclusion in a larger public safety bill later in the legislative session.
Now, also keep in mind, the state of Minnesota is not technically a sanctuary state because you still have a lot of cooperation and communication throughout the state with local police departments and sheriffs. Once you start to get into a sanctuary state, and the reason why I'm doing this is because there's technically no federal legal classification of a sanctuary state. Your state really has to, first off, declare we are a sanctuary state, but second, the policies have to fall in line. Absolutely no cooperation at all with deportation operations. You cannot transfer information, things like that, like we see in Oregon, Washington, California. In fact, even the state of New York is not technically a sanctuary state. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really apologize if this channel sometimes comes off as a broken record as far as the Minnesota story, but I'm simply just trying to provide you with fair and equal representation as far as what's happening in Minnesota, because as a lot of eyeballs left the state of Minnesota, I think more and more news agencies are being forced to come back in and report what people are saying on the ground. That, hey, there are hundreds of federal agents in our state, but more and more people are starting to get arrested, and it looks like nobody knows how to really respond to this other than continuing to be observant, continuing to either push back from the mayor perspective, from the governor, lawmakers. So that is why I will continue to focus on Minnesota, because I am very curious what's going to happen here. We are on a very thin line as far as how much pushback Tom Homan is going to allow, or Kristi Noem to allow to happen to their federal agents. So I will be paying attention. Thank you guys again so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you guys, and I hope I was as fair as possible. And please pray for peace. We need that right now. God bless all of you, and thank you guys so much. We'll see you all later.
Are there times
to the next one?
I'd love to have another address or phone number to you.
Back up. All right, here we go. Come on. All right, so this one's Mondami locks down NYC.
It's only been a month, and New York's mayor has already brought back lockdowns.
Due to these factors, we are declaring a state of emergency and instituting a travel ban.
Oh, a travel ban!
Starting at 9 p.m. this evening and ending at 12 p.m. tomorrow. The state of emergency
Let's see if this
closes the streets, highways, and bridges of New York City for all traffic. Cars, trucks, scooters, and e-bikes, with some specific exemptions for essential and emergency movement. For your safety, stay home, stay inside, and stay off the roads.
It's banned. And you know why there's a lockdown and a travel ban? Not enough New Yorkers went out there to shovel the city's way out of this mess.
The big snowstorm coming today, and our mayor says that we need emergency snow shovelers.
If you'd like to sign up to be a paid snow shoveler, you can go to any DSNY garage from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow on Sunday.
Okay.
I saw that the mayor said that we were supposed to report for duty between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. today for emergency snow shoveling.
Yeah,
Why?
Not yet. I think the earliest that we can put you out there is 8 p.m. tonight.
It's $20 an hour.
I think it's actually higher now.
Okay.
If I
$30
have a
an hour.
snowblower and I can do the work of 3 to 4 people, can I get paid more?
I don't think so.
I thought we could just tax the rich. Need 2 forms of ID? What happens if I only have 1?
You need 2 forms to sign up.
One from this side and one from this side.
It's so interesting because they want to tell us we don't need ID to vote, but we need 2 forms of ID to shovel. You know? Do I need to print the
shoveling's
photos
important.
out? I have to print those. Yes. What if I don't have a printer?
You go to CVS.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but the thing is, CVS is closed right now. You ain't going to CVS. And the mayor's out there begging for people to help, but it's the city's fault that it can't help itself because the residents don't have their 2 printed photos from CVS weeks ahead of a snowstorm.
We got here, our mayor said to show up at the garage at 8 a.m. I was just told inside that I have to come back at 8 p.m. and that my shovel is outdated, but they have another one waiting for me.
New
model. They're going to
Nice.
hold on to it for me. I have to come back.
That's cool.
With the proper attire, 2
You get a
forms
shovel.
of ID, a social security card, 2 photos printed out.
Wow.
Get paid $30 an hour.
It's not going to happen. And the ID's not even the worst part. It's just the stupid requirements of this whole thing that you got to have stuff printed out because the city won't take your picture and print it out themselves, right? That's the issue.
What's required in order to join the emergency snow shovelers in New York City this weekend. With the huge snowstorm coming to New York City and other places in the Northeast, Zoran announced if you want to make some extra cash and you're in New York City, you can be an emergency snow shoveler.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Those that are eligible are at least 18 years old, makes sense, eligible to work in the United States, able to perform heavy physical labor, makes sense. And then also when you register, you must have 2 original forms of ID.
Oh,
And
it says
to make
you
things
need copies.
even funnier, when Zoran announced this, he made sure to not include that you need 2 forms of ID.
Vans and 2 DSNY buses to transport shovelers where they're needed faster. And for those who want to do more to help their neighbors and earn some extra cash, you too can become an emergency snow shoveler. Just show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online at nyc.gov/snow.
Yeah, he didn't mention what the paperwork was. This announcement made it sound like people could just go out there and be helpful and help their community and get paid and save the world. But these requirements stop that from happening. I don't have a printer. I don't have the ability to print photographs. How am I supposed to go become a snow shoveler even if I have a shovel and am willing to work and could get a job with my ID and my social security number? See, this is more requirements to work for the city than to work at a private business. And the entire city has essentially been paralyzed. Look at that tree that just fell down. That's gonna take out people's power lines. There's gonna be people living in the dark. Look, they got the fire department out there. That's good that they're at least out there, but that apartment, that place doesn't have any power. I see a light on in this other one. Okay, that's a good thing. But this place has failed to operate. Look at this. You cannot drive down the street, can't take a bike. There goes the idea to save the environment, riding around a city e-bike. And we do have some snow plows, but this looks like a rich neighborhood right here. You know how I can tell? Because the neighborhood I live in hasn't been plowed yet. And some of this footage is from last night. Look at this. You ain't getting delivery either, because even if the restaurant that you want to get delivery from is open, there ain't nobody riding a bike because they're banned. They're not even supposed to be out there on the road, if they could even do it. And these guys, they're out there with snow blowers, but they can't get a job working for the city to shovel more snow than is necessary if they don't have access to CVS. You see, look at this. Where's this in my neighborhood? I don't see this in my neighborhood. Well, how come they have 4 trucks right there? That's crazy, but they're not here. This is how it works, man. You gotta live where the rich live, or the well-connected, or over by where the mayor is. I'm sure they plowed Gracie Manor. I'm sure they plowed City Hall. Unbelievable. And they say we don't have enough money. And guess who's not happy about this?
Hey, you came in with a good talk, but you're not walking the good walk. The water went up.
Yup, utilities
the gas
going up.
went up. Light bill went up. Now property taxes.
Yeah, raise the taxes.
What exactly are we doing here? Do your job as mayor and leave our
No,
taxes
can't do that.
So these are American citizens who very distinctly remember, not very long ago, that Zoran Mandani, when he was a candidate, said, I promise I'm not going to raise taxes on you.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you came in with a good talk.
We don't let politicians get away with this in America before there's a revolt.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
Yeah, and we all know how that worked out while we're in the middle of a lockdown. That's what we're paying for. We're paying for lockdowns and travel bans now.
Communist, and yes, communist policies. That's what Zoran Mandani is talking about.
He's not a communist.
It never
Democratic
works.
Socialist. He says he's Democratic
I can't tell what the difference is.
Well, he can describe
Explain what the difference is.
He can describe differences for you. The socialism is not the same basis of communism in this country. You know that quite
The
well.
man
You
wants,
have an
the man
economic
wants to
background.
create. The
They're
man
the
wants to
same.
create government-run grocery stores. He wants free transportation, both of which are impossible to do. Because how
You
is
know that
how is
communism
he?
is a trigger word to
how
try
is-
to undermine all of his policies. He's not a
I
communist.
don't need to. I don't need to undermine his policies. His policies undermine himself.
Well,
because
they
never
do.
worked. Here's
They
what I
do.
want him to do. Tell me where they've ever worked. They've never worked. He knows that. I knows that. But what he's trying to do is promise everybody something that they can't have. And the truth is, there is no free lunch, just like there's
Right.
no free bus. Because you know what happens when you have a free bus? There's nobody there to fix it or to drive it. He knows that. I know that. You know that. America does know it. And it's unfortunate that the city of New York, my former home city, is probably going to have to go through this.
It's going through it right now, and it's actually getting worse every single day. Here's why.
A recent budget.
Recent budget proposal by Mayor Mamdani could see major cuts to the NYPD. News 12's Karina Gary has the details.
Can't have cops.
Less than 2 months into his first term, and Mayor Mamdani is already facing financial blows.
When we took office, we inherited a historic budget gap.
Okay.
Mayor is now tasked with closing a $5.4 billion
At first he said it was
deficit
$12 billion.
over the next 2 years. In order to do that, the mayor is proposing cutting $22 million in NYPD funding, as well as end the face hiring of 5,000 new officers that the previous administration funding for.
Wow.
You know, that's sending bad messages. They can't try to balance budgets on.
So he said during the campaign that he was not going to defund the police at all. He did make sure to say that. He said he was going to keep funding levels as is, but right here we see a funding cut, and there are police who were supposed to be hired, and now, you know what? Guys, drop out of the academy, or finish if you want to, and we'll call you if we need you, right? That's a huge problem. New York already has less officers than it needs. We've got officers that are retiring, and we've got these teen takeovers that won't stop happening in the city.
A President's Day takeover turns violent at a Bronx mall, and now other malls are ramping up their security.
Police say at least 18 people are in custody, and most of them are teenagers.
Wow,
John
we're
Diaz
cutting
has
police.
this story.
Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
Sound is glass breaking after someone is seen throwing an object into Munchie's Deli on Baychester Avenue. Just one of the chaotic moments that erupted in and around Bay Plaza Mall Monday afternoon.
They tried to break in. We closed the door and we tried to avoid
Breaking
that.
into a deli.
Call 911.
The manager, who didn't want to show his face, says the situation quickly spiraled out of control and fear set in.
There's over 300 kids.
300 people breaking windows, destroying businesses. And you know what? Let's cut the NYPD's funding. Let's cut that so that we can pay for all the other stuff we want to pay for. We got $1.2 billion lined up for people that are in New York illegally. They're going to get the money. The police can't have the money. And who does that hurt? That hurts businesses. These people are now being taxed twice. They're going to be taxed if they're millionaires. They're going to be taxed again by the crime tax that comes from just being here. But just before we continue, you may have seen the conversations online lately about how censorship is back, and it's happening everywhere. Platforms are controlling narratives, and they're pushing the stuff they want us to see. We need to fight back. And Rumble is the only company that has stood the test of time and deserves our support. On the one side, Rumble is challenging big tech censorship, but on the other side, they have introduced something that will give us protection from the big banks shutting us down. Banks can cancel our accounts and freeze our credit cards. So that's why they launched Rumble Wallet, a wallet no one can cancel, and a wallet that supporters can use to instantly tip creators like myself without any middleman taking a cut. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money. Not a bank, not a government, not a tech company, not even Rumble can touch it. It's yours, only yours, yours to protect your future and your family. You can buy and save digital assets like Bitcoin and Tether Gold in one place. Tether Gold is real gold on the blockchain with real ownership of physical gold bars. It's not only a wallet to buy and save, but it also allows you to support your favorite creators by easily tipping them with the click of a button. There will be no fees when you tip my channel or others. We actually receive the tip instantly, unlike other platforms where we have to wait for payouts. You can support my show and others by clicking the tip button on my Rumble channel. That's wallet.rumble.com. Download Rumble Wallet today, open an account, and step away from the big banks for good. Wallet.rumble.com or search Rumble Wallet in your app store.
Across the street, police say they believe this same large group of teenagers broke a window at the
What police?
McDonald's area. Businesses say
them.
this gathering was no accident.
Nope.
The rowdy bunch came together after a planned takeover was being advertised across social media platforms. Police say they arrested 17 teenagers.
Okay, but whose fault is that? Is that the fault of Facebook or Instagram or wherever this happened? Or is that the fault of our city for having laws that don't punish people that want to commit crime and for getting rid of the few police that are even there to arrest them? Look at all these police patrolling this McDonald's right here. That's wild. They can't go solve other crimes. There is now an opportunity for criminals to go to wherever those police were and commit crime there because we don't have enough police. We got to just move them around. We're just rearranging deck chairs on a sinking ship.
And one adult
to organize and create chaos, that's just
not okay.
No!
All I heard was screaming.
Now, there's still no clear reason why these kids decided to do this, but police are speculating it's due to the warmer weather and also no school.
What do you mean warmer weather? If 45 degrees triggers mobs of 300 people to go and destroy an entire shopping mall, what's going to happen when it's, you know, a nice 75 degrees on a spring afternoon? What's going to happen then? You better put your seatbelt on.
You ever seen a piranha eating food? When one attacks, they all come in
Piranhas.
swarm. That's exactly what happened.
Stephen Estrella handles security at Five Below. He says he had to keep the doors locked to prevent damage.
Look at
as
this.
the group made repeated attempts to get inside.
They tried to get in here at least twice. It was like they was making rounds.
Concerns spreading to nearby Yonkers Tuesday, where police and private security were seen monitoring activity at the Cross County Center in case of additional takeovers. Yonkers.
So New York has a law, it's called the Raise the Age Law. And what it effectively did, it said that anybody who's under the age of 18 cannot be held responsible for criminal behavior, which essentially means if you're not 18, you got to get out of jail free card. That's why nobody's in jail, because everybody gets out. And what we're essentially doing in New York, while we lay off future police officers and cut their funding right now, is we're teaching people how to become career criminals. You got somebody who's, you know, between the ages of 14 and 18, they're going to have a bachelor's degree in crime. But let's get an update from the mayor on the snow response. See how we're doing.
We are seeing the first blizzard our city has seen since 2016.
What about the one 2 weeks
the most
ago?
Up-to-date counts are giving us estimates of between 90 to 21 inches citywide, with certain localized areas up to about 22 inches. As of 5:30 a.m. this morning, the incredible men and women of DSNY had done a first plow of 99.3% of all of our city roads.
Except where I
There's been a
live.
shift change since then, and New Yorkers can stay up to date on that through Plow NYC.
Mayor, you decided to close the schools today, no remote learning. When do you think you're going to be able to make a decision about schools tomorrow?
It's
Or
already
have you
been
made
made.
that decision?
Can't get down the street.
We haven't yet made that decision. We will be communicating that, however, to families as well as students and staff sometime in the afternoon. We're doing everything we can right now to respond to the storm and make sure that we're ready for tomorrow. And as soon as we have that information, we will be sharing that.
We're going to see.
This is the second storm, you know, in the last 4 weeks. I know you faced some criticism after the first one, and you've.
Yeah, see, the news is bringing it up. They're like, look, buddy, we just had a storm. We just had a massive storm, and you're facing some criticism from that one. Did you have time to learn any lessons, and how are you implementing those lessons right now?
You were going to do things a little better, a little differently this time around. So what are some of those things that you guys did do differently as you're addressing this storm?
Well, we're first of all looking at everything that worked last time around, starting it from the very first day, and then looking to enhance it. Now, the one silver lining here is that unlike with the last storm, where we saw a prolonged cold spell after the storm, which led to snow hardening into ice, what we're seeing now, however, is that we expect temperatures to get into the 40s sometime in midweek.
So what we're going to do differently is we're going to have different weather. The weather is going to come in and clean up the mess for us. That's the plan. That's the game plan. They have no plan.
In melting the snow, as opposed to last time, we had literal snow melting operations in every single borough of the city. Now, in addition to what we were doing from the last time around, we've been able to geotag all of our unsheltered bus stops and crosswalks across the city. So DSNY has an active look at when the last time was that we cleaned through these bus stops and these crosswalks, so that New Yorkers can get around whenever they can, no matter what mode of transit that they're doing.
There's a
in
travel
addition to
ban.
DSNY, we've also brought in about double the number of emergency snow shovelers. So through sustained outreach over the last few weeks, we've brought in an additional 500, 600 snow shovelers.
So in a city of 8 million people who are struggling to afford rent and to live and can't work today because wherever they work today is shut down as there's a travel ban, they got 500 people to shovel snow. I don't know what the percentage is. The numerator is too small for that massive 8 million denominator for me to do the math required to figure out how successful this snow shoveler operation has been. It's been a failure.
Who have been able to clear a first pass, at least, of more than 1,000 crosswalks last night, around 400 fire hydrants, and about 800 to 900 bus stops across the city.
Mr. Mayor, if I could ask you about the dangerous
it's only the
conditions
city
for those who are
infrastructure they're even paying
unhoused.
to clear, not the
what
private
steps
businesses.
were taken this time around to help those who are not in shelter at this hour?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, are they going to help the homeless this
So
time?
a number
Probably
of
not.
things. We have hundreds of outreach workers who are traversing every single one of the 5 boroughs.
They were there
They've been
last
doing it
time.
not just today, but in the days prior. And
Yeah,
what
see?
they're doing is connecting homeless New Yorkers with shelter and safe haven. We have warming buses, warming spaces, warming sites. These are the
Okay, but how
repurposing
do
of
they
city
get
infrastructure.
around
whether
with
it's
this-
more than 10 schools, whether
the
it's
snow?
more than 10 health and hospital sites, or whether it's quite literally warming buses and mobile clinical vans that are moving throughout this city. We have at least 15 as of this morning. Now, the importance of this is that homeless New Yorkers, they need to be given a number of different options to come inside. It can't just be a one-size-fits-all approach. So in addition to this, we've also added more than 100 beds to a shelter that we had recently opened up in Upper Manhattan to ensure we have the additional capacity. Now,
But what we're not talking about here is doing what you or I would do if we had a friend who lived on the street. If we had a friend that lived on the street or a family member, we wouldn't allow that person to decide to stay there. We wouldn't give them options and say, hey man, do you want to come inside?
All right, folks, we're hitting some technical difficulties. I expected this. Nothing less. Nothing less.
fire hydrants and about 800 to 900 bus stops across the city.
Mr. Mayor, if I could ask you about
Right,
the
it's
dangerous
only the city
conditions for those who are
infrastructure they're even paying
unhoused.
to clear, not the
what
private
steps
businesses.
were taken this time around to help those who are not in shelter at this hour?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, are they going to help the homeless this
So
time?
a number
Probably
of
not.
things. We have hundreds of outreach workers who are
They should be okay now. Sorry. Here we go.
in the days prior. And
Yeah,
what
see?
they're doing is connecting homeless New Yorkers with shelter and safe haven. We have warming buses, warming spaces, warming sites. These are the
Okay, but how
repurposing
do
of
they
city
get
infrastructure,
around
whether
with
it's
this-
more than 10 schools, whether
the
it's
snow?
more than 10 health and hospital sites, or whether it's quite literally warming buses and mobile clinical vans that are moving throughout this city. We have at least 15 as of this morning. Now, the importance of this is that homeless New Yorkers, they need to be given a number of different options to come inside. It can't just be a one-size-fits-all approach. So in addition to this, we've also added more than 100 beds to a shelter that we had recently opened up in Upper Manhattan to ensure we have the additional capacity. Now,
But what we're not talking about here is doing what you or I would do if we had a friend who lived on the street. If we had a friend that lived on the street or a family member, we wouldn't allow that person to decide to stay there. We wouldn't give them options and say, hey man, do you want to come inside? It's going to be freezing out. There's a snowstorm. What do you think? And then, no, I'm going to stay. Like, we wouldn't accept that answer. We would have an intervention. We would get our friends and our other family members to.
I agree with this statement 100%. 10
Our friends and our other
If you
family
really
members to
cared and
haul
you knew
that
their
person
character,
indoors
you'd
and
let
warm
them
them
in
up
when
and
it was
take
cold.
care of them and treat them humanely
just goes
because
to
they're
show
out
you
in
how
this
we do
very
not
dangerous
trust everybody.
situation that they don't fully understand. That's not part of the humanity that we're extending to each other in this city anymore.
Now, beyond this, what we've also done is ensure that on our Link NYC kiosks across New York
Oh,
City,
the free
there's
Wi-Fi.
a list of
I mean,
where all those
hopefully
warming centers are,
this doesn't
so
cut
that
down
homeless
my
New
mic,
Yorkers,
too,
as well
and-
as New Yorkers who see someone in need, have a quick and easy way to access that.
Quick and easy.
And Mayor, final question for you. Just as this storm kind of winds down here over the next couple of hours, do you have any timelines as far as when bans will be lifted, when mass transit back
Yeah,
up
when
and
can we
running
leave?
as
When's the
normal?
lockdown
Any
over?
timelines you guys are working on?
Great question.
So right now we have the travel ban in effect until 12 p.m. and a large part of that is not just the snow, but the combination with 40 to 60 miles per hour and wind gusts, and just how hazardous it makes it for driving conditions as well as for New Yorkers who are outside for any other reason. If we have any updates to that, we will be sure to share them, but at this time it does end at 12 p.m. We have our public transit running on a delay at this time. However, they're still up and running with our subways and our trains, and we are looking in concert with the state and MTA to do everything we can to get everything back up to speed as soon as possible.
But the real plan that we have is to wait for the weather, because the weather's supposed to come in and save us. But I got bad news for you. Looky here. Look at the weather report. Look what we got.
I don't know.
We got snow today. Tomorrow it's going to be below freezing. That's the high. Then we get more snow, more snow, more snow. And this ain't letting up.
This message is for Mondami and Mondami only. I know you just started. I'm not putting too much of the blame on you, but if we get a blizzard, please clean these streets. So you're telling me that it took an entire month for the snow to get cleared from the ground in New York City because they did nothing to clean the ground. They waited for it to rain in order for the snow to clear. And now you're telling me that tonight or tomorrow we're gonna get another blizzard?
Right.
We still have snow on the ground. We still have mountains on the Please, we cannot have another freaking snowstorm where New York City does not get clean, because I don't know what happened this year. New York City, they didn't clean it. Y'all ain't clean it. So all them teenagers that raided Bay Plaza, put them to clean, please. Thank you. Just to reiterate,
she's so brilliant. All the teenagers that are destroying the shopping malls, they've got energy, so just make them clean. Put them out on the streets. Give them shovels. Tell them that is their community service.
It's true.
Oh, wait.
There we
don't
go.
have consequences.
That's real communism right there.
For criminal behavior. There are no consequences if Mother Nature doesn't come along and clean up our messes for
this
us.
Is disgraceful to communism. Putin
and
should be laughing his ass off.
like a well-run city to you? These snowstorms prove that the government is incapable of solving anything. If anything, all the government does is cause problems. Government's not a solution to the problems New Yorkers face. New Yorkers need to be able to make their own lives better on their own. They can't vote for somebody to come along and tax whoever owns this building, thinking that's going to make the lives of the people inside the building better, when all that person that owns this place is going to do is raise rents to cover it. And nobody's better off. And the government's not better off. They don't all of a sudden have some magical tool that they didn't have before to create a utopia for everyone to live in and enjoy. Nope, don't have that at all. Never had it. What do you think about that? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Now you see how I have to deal with these guys. All right, so that's it with that. Hold on. These guys. Yeah, this will be a lot easier now. I don't need to worry about these ads, man. I'm getting freaking irritated having to. I couldn't even leave. I left. I had to come running back to skip an ad. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, it is really hard to kill these guys, but I do it often. Oh, this is what we're doing now. I love this browser out-of-date crap. Alright. Alright, so this should work. Should be alright now. So frustrated. Like every time I had to like click on something, I had to maybe even skip an ad before I could even show it to you guys. It was getting annoying.
It was never easy for me. I was born a poor black child.
Every California billionaire is moving out. Steven Spielberg just left the state, along with Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, the two dudes who started Google, and a ton of other founders and billionaires. According to the Wall Street Journal, California has lost nearly $1 trillion in taxable wealth. It's because of Gavin Newsom. Maybe this is why Gavin Newsom says that he's stupid. Maybe this is why Gavin Newsom went full retard. Go full retard. Gavin Newsom ripped for telling black people in Atlanta, "I'm just like you. I also have low SAT scores. I am a low IQ person. And I'm also can't read." This is a thing that Gavin Newsom did. It's live on camera. Gavin Newsom in Atlanta saying, I can't read and I'm stupid. And I'm just like you. Black people. Got it? Okay, let's watch the tape.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech. Because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Never go. I can't read good. I can't read. Oh, do you got the hustling?
Never go full retard.
Yes, okay. We're gonna be using that one a lot. You never go full retard. Yeah. It's kind of perfect. This is Gavin Newsom's blackface. We were just talking about Justin Trudeau, right? And then Gavin Newsom's version of blackface is, I'm dumb and I can't read, so I'm just like you. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Gavin Newsom does this, of course, because much like every other Democrat, he isn't a real person. They don't have any sense of whom they are. Leftism is, of course, a herd group sheep mentality driven by what is trendy and what is ordered at the time by popular demand, what is in the modern audience. And of course,
okay, I'm not sure if this is because of the temperature? It might be the temperature. Come on. Come on.
Newsom and his kind being a successful white guy, which Gavin Newsom was. Do we have the old clippings? Do we have the old clip? Give me that. Gavin Newsom, the rich boys. There it is. Perfect. Thank you. Gavin Newsom, I grew up poor. Gavin Newsom, San Francisco Chronicle, 1991. Children of the rich. Look at Gavin. Gavin Newsom's high school photo, his high school yearbook, compliments him for Gavin Newsom, the rich boys. There it is. Perfect. Thank you. Gavin Newsom, I grew up poor. Gavin Newsom, San Francisco Chronicle, 1991. Children of the rich. Look at Gavin. Gavin Newsom's high school photo,
Come on.
his high school yearbook,
You can do it.
compliments him
Oh,
for being
God.
the best dressed because of his many ascot. Gavin Newsom had an ascot collection in the 90s, in the early 90s. Not the 1890s, the 1990s. Here he is with the billionaire.
It's still frozen. We just put it out there not even 10 minutes ago, hon. It wasn't 1:30, babe. I honestly don't.
Getty family. Gavin Newsom goes on a black podcast with some former NBA players and says, I grew up, I was poor. I grew up a poor black child. He straight up says it. He said that we turned this into a meme, Gavin Newsom, rolling into 2028. Can we load our own version? Here we go. Here's Gavin Newsom. I grew up poor, eating cheese.
Walking home, got home early. My mom was always working, so, you know, I'm cooking, literally lived on Stouffer's lasagna, macaroni and cheese.
I can't believe he's trying it. I can't believe he's doing it.
2 pots of macaroni and cheese and got bored.
I can't believe he's doing it. We pulled up his childhood home. Gavin Newsom, oh, put this up. This is great. Gavin Newsom in high school. Gavin Newsom in high school. The ascot. He's the voted best dressed. Just like, you know, just like any boy from the hood. His ascot collection. On point. Just hustling, man. That scarf that he's wearing is a nearly $1,000 scarf. There you go. He goes on, here he is, goes on the podcast and says, no, I grew up just like you. Is this going to work? Is this going to work in 2028? Don't tell me this is going to work. Here you go.
But also, you know, it was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. and so I was out there kind of raising myself.
Grew up in a $5 million home.
TV, started, you know, just getting obsessed, you know, sitting there with the, you know, the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
hey, it's like the White Stack 5 story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, bro. Are you talking about me?
Young YG.
YG, man.
Every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man. And your arms fall
yourself.
off. That's it. Whole thing. So just, and then, you know, then this student that was shitty student is in the back with his head down, all of a sudden started throwing the baseball a little faster than everyone else. And started, you know, make a few free throws because I was sitting there practicing 500 of them every damn night. And in high school, I look up in the stands, my dad's back up there.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you know who Gavin Newsom's dad was? Do you know? Oh, my dad. I didn't even know who my dad was. My mom was on food stamps. That's what he wants you to believe. William Newsom, Gavin Newsom's father, the most successful and richest lawyer in all of California. His clients are billionaire, landed aristocracy, globalist aristocracy, the Getty family, the Getty fortune, the oil fortune, billionaires. These are Gavin's friends that he grew up with. Daddy Newsom bought Gavin Newsom a $5 million home. Gavin Newsom owned multiple wineries. The whole thing is bullshit. This is Gavin Newsom's home that he grew up in. It's the Gavin Newsom home. There's like the, you know, this like beautiful up on the top on a hilltop, little estate, lovely little California like style. Swag is in like San Francisco and like the hills of San Francisco, the like richest area you can possibly live in. Called Billionaires Row. Gavin Newsom's home, childhood home, sells for nearly $4 million. Oh, okay. I just grew up in a $4 million home. I was hustling, man. I was just like you. Just like you growing up in the projects. It's going to work. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I love that we ratio Gavin Newsom every single day into the sun. Poor white kids. Poor white kids. Is this the Joe Biden? Is this Joe Biden? Let's play clip roulette. Let's find out. Is this Joe Biden saying that black kids can't be there? It's amazing how implicit the racism is in fact in the Democrat Party. Just let them speak for themselves. Here we go.
To do is we should challenge these students. We should challenge students in these schools to have advanced placement programs in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
If Trump ever said anything like that, it'd be game over. How long are black people going to take it from the Democrat Party? How long are you going to like let these frauds try and run this game, this like Steve Martin idiot game, this Tropic Thunder on y'all? It's the same thing that Hillary's done the same thing. Hillary Clinton famously on the Breakfast Club. What's the thing you carry in your purse?
They said no, she has to go.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting information right now? Hot sauce. Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people again.
Okay. Is it working?
Oh, yeah. The face she makes. Is it working? I love it when they don't even try and hide it. I love it when they don't try and hide it. This is the best. Okay, this is the best. All right. We're going to Wesley Hunt here in a second. This is the best. Go.
Feel no ways tired.
I feel no ways tired. I come too far.
I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far.
You know they're far. No, you gotta, hold on, you gotta have more fart noises.
That the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Oh man. Oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh. Again, could you imagine if I was interviewing an Eskimo and I just suddenly started I do millions of hours of like this live stream and I suddenly start going like if I start interviewing somebody from some tribe somewhere what you know how humiliating, you know, how utterly embarrassing, and how disrespectful it would be. You know, we have people on from all over the place. You never hear me change my accent or the way that I talk. It's the way that I talk. It is what it is. You never hear me do this. Talk down to people, talk dumb to people, start losing. The actual English language that I've been using. Yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, it's so stupid. You got AOC doing it all across the country. Kamala Harris doing it. Okay, one final one. All right, what's the best Kamala one? What's the best Kamala one? One more time. Then we got Wesley Hunt. What's she? Oh my God, what's she doing? Oh my God.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
Never go for retard.
What in the living is going on?
Something tells me not the first time that Kamala Harris in her career was concerned about cometh in the morning. Something tells me that Kamala Harris has a bit of a history and perhaps got into office on being able to ensure that Willie Brown cometh in the morning. All right, I have no follow up with this. I have no follow up. I'm laughing too hard. I can't take it. I can't believe that it's true. I can't believe all this stuff is real. I can't believe it. I can't believe these clips are real. What is this timeline? It's amazing. 2028 is going to be amazing. This is great. Having a great time. Kamala dancing. Let's go.
This is true. It's irreversible. I mean, you cannot be serious with this, Gavin Newsom. This is a complete disrespectful slap to everybody. You're the governor and you're saying you can't read, and then you go ahead and say, well, maybe this is the wrong job for you. Yes. How dare you? How dare you not be able to read and think that you can be a good president? How dare you? You literally make laws and you can't read? How dare you? Sorry, folks. I don't know why this is taking, like, eons to load. I think it can't take PowerPoint in this and all open at the same time, so I might have to have a word sheet with all the links. It might work better. I'm just trying to brainstorm here.
Wait, so you're telling me that people that aren't black also get bad grades?
See, as you can tell, I watched a little bit of this already, but, like, I didn't react to this full video, and we'll be doing that right now. Yeah, I know, it's like, you probably couldn't hear me because the mic is pointing the wrong way. Let's see if this loads. I'm having a hard time right now. I'm just going to turn this PowerPoint off. If it's 27 minutes, I'll load up the next slide later. I don't even know what changes were made, bro. This is where my computer is like, okay, now. All right, here we go. Part 2, Gavin Newsom.
this up. This is just really fucking funny. And here it is. Gavin Newsom. We're going to watch the clip. Gavin Newsom thinks a 960 SAT makes him like black Americans. Now, let's listen to the clip and let's see if that's what he said.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy.
This doesn't really look good. I believe him. No, I believe him. I do. I think, honestly, I think he might have cheated to get that high. Oh my God.
And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy, I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
Yeah, all right, so now what? Okay, got it.
Speech.
Is this what they call retard maxing? Honestly, this is kind of an inspiring story. He's like, guys, I'm retarded. No, you think? No, I'm really retarded. I can't read. And like, think about how many other people that are retarded are like,
This may be the wrong business to be in.
Oh, guys, I can't read.
Afraid to go into red states.
No.
When I saw you slinging shots behind the coffee bar, I thought this guy might run for president.
I have no idea. The idea that a guy who got 960 on his SAT that still struggles to read scripts that was always in the back of the classroom. The idea that you even throw that out is in and of itself extraordinary. Who the hell knows? I'm looking forward
it's just, yeah, that right?
To who presents themselves in 2028 and who meets that moment. And that's the question for the American people.
Is it fair to say after the 2026 midterms, you're going to give it serious thought?
Yeah, I'd be lying otherwise. I'd just be lying. And I can't do that.
Governor, you have long said that if you ever run for the White House, you need a compelling why, a reason. Are you moving closer to figuring out your own why and your own decision?
Listen, like, I can't read, and if I'm president, you won't be able to either. Nobody is gonna read anymore, bro. We're getting rid of this shit. It's fucking annoying. These words are annoying. Nobody likes books anyway. Let's just get rid of this shit.
Yeah, and he just said, if you have a compelling why, you can endure any how. And so I don't think, I think the biggest challenge for anyone who runs for any office is people see right through you. If you don't have that why, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so, look, well, that will.
I do think that, like, I mean, honestly, I don't think this guy has a chance of winning. I really don't. I know there's some people that are like, he's gonna win, he's gonna beat it, he's gonna beat JD Vance and Trump. The moment that this guy goes into a debate against Marco Rubio or fucking JD Vance, he is going to look like a bumbling fucking retard. And you've got to keep in mind that Gavin Newsom's biggest strength is the optics, right? Like, he's a suave guy, he's like a slick car salesman, right, type guy. And so the moment that he looks like a dumbass, he's going to immediately fucking lose people's respect, because that's the main thing that he has, is that, you know, that optical vibe of, like, you know, the Patrick Bateman hyper competent sociopath type guy. And I think it's going to immediately evaporate the moment that he's debating against somebody that's, like, verbally gifted. This is going to immediately fall apart. He has dyslexia? Well, I mean, just listen to the way he talks.
That fate will determine that.
You certainly seem to like being on the ground in South Carolina, I have to say that. Seeing you up close, you were having a good time.
I happen to, and thank God, I'm in the right business. I love people. I actually love people.
It's sort of like Gavin Newsom in California. He's got a train that was supposed to go from San Francisco to Los Angeles, which is a stupid idea because an airplane is faster. I don't care how fast it goes. And they had plenty of airplanes. San Francisco, inside San Francisco to inside L.A. And what they did is they said, oh man, this has been going on for years. It's billions and billions of dollars over budget. So what they decided to do is cut it so that it doesn't go into San Francisco and into LA. It goes way short of both.
Okay, right. And is there any more? This is just Trump telling a story about Gavin Newsom being stupid. Yeah, I mean, I can easily assume that. And so anyway, let's...
So Gavin Newsom thinks that because he's a dumbass and scored less than 1,000 in the SAT that he can relate to the black experience. That's what he said to a room of black and brown people in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, just this past weekend. And this man said this with
I'm like you guys. I'm like you guys.
Face it, because he scored a 960 on the SAT, he was just like me. Well, Gavin, let me tell you something. I didn't score a 960 on the SAT. I scored a lot higher than that on the SAT. And by the way, a lack of academic performance or the ability to excel within school doesn't make you black, but what it does...
Wait, so you're telling me that people that aren't black also get bad grades? No way.
Does do, if you think that does make you black, is that it makes you a racist, right? So it's so funny to me that the Democrats, while they no longer wear those white hooded robes that the KKK would run around.
Maybe you can bring that back.
And as they terrorize black people, they still find a way to remind us in ways big and small that they did used to wear those robes. Apparently, Gavin Newsom's heart still wears that robe because he thinks that being a dumbass makes you black. Gavin, you are disgusting in every which way. And this moment from this day will haunt you for a time long.
Dude, this is just like the I've showed this so many times. Dude, I've showed this so many times. It's funny every single time.
Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
Look at the fucking video.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. Young black kids growing up in...
Whoa. And so anyway, bro, like these retards are the real racists. Well, here's really what I think is going on, right? I'll play this one more time.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to...
Here's, like, as with everything, right? I am always the most fair, the most reasonable, and the most honest. I actually don't think that he was talking about black people. I don't really think so, because he said this in another context before, and he wasn't talking about black people. I think what he's really talking about is just other random people that are not highly, you know, like fucking wealthy. That's really it. Like, I don't think he really meant this as like, I'm like black people because I get bad scores on tests. I don't think that's what he was meaning. He was talking about like and also like really, I don't think I mean, like, it makes it maybe better, right? Depending on how you want to look at it. But I think he was basically saying, I'm like you underprivileged people, or I'm like you average people. Or I'm like you poor people, and
It's like he pulled a Jungle Book.
before.
I walk
So
like you.
lower class
I talk
maybe.
like
Yes,
you.
Exactly.
I really do.
It's not even like it's that much better what the explanation is, but at the same time, I think it's pretty obvious that, like, I mean, a clip like this looks really bad. And again, oh no, now he's defending himself about this. Let's look at it. And you didn't
So
give
much
a
for
shit
can't read.
about the President of the United States of America posting an 8 video of President Obama or calling African nations shitholes. They are shitholes. They're shitholes. They are. It's not because they're African. There's
Lay
white
down.
shitholes too.
You're too close.
You ever been to a trailer park?
For
What are we
human
talking
consumption.
about? But you're going to call me racist for talking about my lifelong struggle with dyslexia. Spare me
not
your
dog
fake
food,
fucking outrage scene. Well, there it is. How do you do, fellow retards? Yep, I guess so. Like, he's the disabled guy. And so, yeah, there we go. And also, that's not how to spell Sean. It's not. It's ridiculous. Who the fuck spells Sean, S-E-A-N? It's dumb. It doesn't, like, there's no way, like you look at the letters. What do the letters sound like? Does
Seen.
it sound like that? No,
Seen.
it doesn't sound like that. Why the fuck would you say this? Why would you spell the name this way? It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. So anyway, it's Irish. It's fucking ridiculous is what it is. And
Those
so
drunk
anyway, I'll look at a
bastards.
few comments about this. Posting the
Leave
Lion
that
King
language
parody as
talk out
Democrats
of our
calling the
life.
poorest countries on earth shitholes
Doesn't make
is
sense.
unironically much as, well, it's obvious that the thing is that the Trump Obama 8 video was very clearly a mistake. Anybody who thinks that it wasn't a mistake is intentionally engaging in dishonesty. They are engaging in dishonesty, and the reason why is because it was very clearly they screen recorded a video, another video scrolled up, and then they didn't cut that part out of the video that was uploaded. I mean, this is very clearly what happened. And so if you're getting angry about that, it's like, okay, I mean, like, it was clearly not intentional. It wasn't something that they were doing on purpose. Like, it's not like he deleted the post. So, like, what are you doing getting mad about this? It's a game. They want to punish mistakes, not absolve them. Yeah, exactly, right? And that's it. And so, yeah, come on, mistake. Well, yeah, I think it was a mistake. Do you want me to pull you up? Do you want to argue this? I mean, like, what are we doing here? That shit was funny, though. I mean, you could say that, but that's just in general. That's bullshit. Well, let me pull this up. So I'm going to pull you up, and you're going to explain to me why you don't think it was a mistake. Why do you think that it wasn't a mistake? Why do you think that? No issued apology? Do you think that anybody who thinks that Donald Trump is racist would take that apology at face value and then decide after that that Donald Trump didn't mean it? I'm asking you a genuine question. Do you think that anybody who is a dissenter of Donald Trump would listen to that apology and then say to themselves, oh, I guess he's not racist? I mean, really. Demon's never said it? Well, no, I'm just asking, like, just an honest question, right? Totally honest question. You know, what do you really think? Any rational adult who made a mistake could easily be construed as racist would make an apology. Well, the problem is that inside of politics, that's not the way things work. And also, like, again, it could be easily construed as racist if somebody else takes a mistake out of context and then... See, this is my opinion on it, right? And you know, you can disagree with this if you want, but I think that apologies should be given when mistakes were made. Like something happening on accident, it's like, I don't really see the reason to issue an apology for this, because in issuing an apology for it, you take ownership of it. And I think that that's the reason why, like, in some places they tell you not to say sorry whenever you're in a car accident, for example, is because that can be used as an admission of guilt. And I think that's the way a lot of people would take it. And so, and also, you didn't answer my question. Let me go back and ask you the same question. Do you think that anybody who, if Trump had made that apology, do you think that anybody would have changed their mind on whether they think Donald Trump is a racist or not? Like somebody who thought Donald Trump was a racist, Donald Trump posts this meme, everybody gets mad about it, and now he issues an apology, and so now he's not racist anymore. Do you think that that's what would happen? This is me steelmanning your point.
I'm
I
out
think
of the
they
loop.
did it
I
on
don't see the
purpose.
meme. I haven't seen
Why
the
do you
meme.
like? I
Nor do I care to see the meme.
I asked you
If
at the
we're
very
really
beginning,
up in arms about a meme,
why?
Then we really have
Why
lost
do
the
you
plot.
think that? Like, I understand that you said that. Like, I'm giving you, like, I gave you, like, 5 explanations. I gave you my thought process. You're just simply repeating your opinion. I'll give this person one more reply, and then I want to move on past this, right? Because this seems like it's kind of a waste of time. Racism is a feature, not a bug. Apologizing is pointless. I guess you're right. But some people in the building, what does he say? Does the administration has a pattern of doing things like this? Give me another example of that. Like what? Like they have a pattern of doing things like this, like making racist memes about black people, about being racist. What does that mean? Yeah, like you're vague posting again. I think that this could be a, why every day we get rage baited. Listen, I'm not even rage baited. I'm just looking at this, right? I mean, it's doesn't answer the question. Yeah, and keep in mind he never answered the question about the apology, because you know that that's not even true. You know nobody would accept that apology at all. Nobody cares about the apology. Nobody gives a shit about it. They're just saying that so they can use that to attack him. That's it. It's really just that simple. I don't know why anybody's surprised by this. It's obvious. Maybe he's got a 960 SAT score. They're eating the dogs. What about that is racist? I don't think that's nothing about that's inherently racist. And if it is, that's like a meme against fucking Asian people, not fucking Haitians. Like it's not even like you don't even. Here's the thing: you don't even know the racism that you're talking about. That is an Asian racism. That's not a Haitian racism. These are two very different things. Jesus. Okay, let's just move on. And we've got somebody, this guy doesn't even know that. It's really common, dude. Well, I don't know if it is or not. I mean, I didn't see, like, here's the thing about the eating cats and dogs thing. And also keep in mind is that that's not racial, because he's not saying that about all black people. He's saying that about people in one area, which was also bullshit. But at the same time, I don't think that's necessarily racist. And also, like, it could be 50 other things too. So that was before he was president. Well, to be fair, I don't think that he should have said that either. It was stupid. But my point is that I don't think Gavin Newsom was trying to relate to black people by saying that he was dumb. I don't think that's what he was trying to do, but it very easily comes off that way, and it makes him look bad. I think that's basically what happened, right? So it's actually really common in parts of Asia. Even my fiance has eaten dog before in Vietnam. I don't have a problem with people eating dogs. They can eat whatever the hell they want. Just don't eat my dog, right? I mean, that's my opinion. I don't give a shit about it at all. Like, I mean, again, I'm not going to virtue signal about this or anything else, but, it's not part of, like, you're asking my personal opinion, right? Now, I don't think that we should let people eat dogs here, because that's just not the way the culture is, right? And the people that want to come over here and eat dogs are not part of our culture, and they're trying to change it. So I don't want them to do that. But at the same time, if you ask me on a personal moral level, do I care about people eating dogs? I don't give a shit. That's really my opinion on it. Sorry to say, I just don't really care. But yeah, there it is. As a dog. No, I was just saying theoretically, right? A proverbial dog, very obviously. And so, but it was a lie? Yeah, it was a lie. But the lie was not necessarily racist. I don't think so, because obviously he's not saying that about black people that are here, right? It's just about people that are from Haiti, right? And so anyway, this did happen. A lot of people are obviously talking about this, and people are mad as fuck about it. This clip will haunt him forever. It will. And the thing is that I find this to be funny is that Gavin Newsom right now is being the victim of the same thing that left-wing people do to right-wing people all the time. They intentionally misunderstand topics. They intentionally misunderstand what a person does. And then they use that to paint a narrative against that person that makes that person look like a piece of shit. Because Gavin Newsom probably wasn't talking about, there's no logic behind him talking about, here's how you know he's not talking about black people. It's because there's other clips of him saying the same thing, and it's not at black people. So very clearly, it's not about black people. It's just not. It could be about poor people. It could be about middle-class people. It could be about dumb people. It could be about, like underprivileged people. But it's not against black people. But yeah, check his podcast appearance and all the smoke. Well, I don't even know what the hell that is. I haven't seen it at all. It's like Romney's binders full of women clip. Yeah, I remember that from 2012. And I don't appreciate his dishonesty from both sides. Yeah, I think that's basically it. And funny, I was poor and I couldn't read. Gavin Newsom. I wonder, what was he doing? What was he doing in this photo? Was he just like, what the fuck? What the fuck are these? What are these? What the fuck is... What are all these squiggly? What the fuck is... Oh my God. Bro, like, what the fuck is... Yeah, it has pictures? I guess so, right? Like, he's trending #1. Oh, no. #1. Wow. What is this?
No doubt that the Democratic Party needs to be, dare I say, more culturally normal. I believe that. Less prone to spending disproportionate amount of time on pronouns, identity, politics. More focused on tabletop issues, things that really matter, the stacking of stress in terms of electricity bills and child.
He's right. That's the funny thing is that he's right.
Care costs and health care and obviously housing costs, and how easily we get trapped in that, how I've fallen prey to that.
Yeah.
I mean, here I was, way out front on marriage equality. So I understand this, both on the receiving end of this and on the no doubt.
Yeah, no, he's actually right about this. His administration acts the opposite way. Yeah, the thing is you can't trust Democrats to not push identity politics because the entire Democratic Party is infested with identity politics. So they can say, oh, yeah, identity politics are really bad. We don't want to do those. But then they just go and do those anyway, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, if they're so bad, then why do you keep pushing this over and over and over? And also they empower other people that push it. So I would never support this even if he said that he didn't support it, because he will support people that support it and then they will do it, and then he will allow them to do it, and he will basically make excuses for whenever it goes wrong. And so that's really it. You can never allow these people in any capacity, because if you do, then they will let in all the other crazy people. It's like a frog trusting the scorpion. I guess so. Yeah, it's in their nature, right? And that's it. I don't know if there's any more of these privileged upbringing. Oh boy, is there more of this?
13 plus businesses, eventually 20 businesses. We had about 1,000 employees at peak.
Yeah.
Not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon you how entrepreneurialism has defined my life. But it was also defined in the relationship to the Getty family. And with that came this notion, well, it was handed to you. It was given to you.
You did. You got really lucky, man. You got super lucky. You got lucky in like 10 different ways, and it's okay, but it's true.
Inherited it.
You did.
As opposed to the hard work and that grind that defined the lived experience.
Can it be both?
And
you have the hard work and grind, and you had doors open.
Yeah. Oh no. And that's.
I mean, it's not just the Gettys. Your grandfather and your father were both very connected in San Francisco.
Well, what about like your dad's rich, your grandpa's rich? Okay.
I'm here because of all of them and their shoulders, and 100%. And it was those two. So all those doors, all the privileges of those relationships, remarkable gifts. And they're deeply mined and discussed there. And then again with a work ethic from my mom. And so it was both and. And so I was comfortable and uncomfortable in so many ways in both worlds. And I just navigated back and forth.
In my opinion, I think this is just so stupid for him to talk like this. It really is. And the reason why I think it's stupid is because, like, you could easily say, yeah, I grew up really privileged, and that's why when I see people that aren't privileged, I think about how easy it was for me, and I want to make sure that they have the same opportunities that I did as close as possible, right? Like, there are, like, 50 different ways that you can communicate like this and not have this, like, weird discrepancy and this disparity. But the problem is that they keep trying to cosplay. They're always trying to cosplay. They're trying to pretend. And because they're trying to pretend, they always fail. Because you can't succeed whenever you're trying to be an imitation of something else. It's not going to work. People will see through it. You will fail. You don't have the instincts in order to act out all the way of that behavior. It's not dyslexia. It's just in general. He's a politician. What do you expect? I'd expect better than this.
If I was on a vacation, and we described
I'd expect a lot better than this.
Overseas with my father and the family and these adventures. My mom was back home.
You weren't just adventures. You went on safaris. You took pictures from helicopters. You were
polar bears.
partying with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that's we described that in there. It was extraordinary.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, I don't know why you can't just say that. It's such a weird thing. Like, for me, here's a good example, right? Is that, like, I've had a lot of privileges in my life. I've had a lot of not privileges in my life. Like, for example, education is one. Like, both of my parents are college graduates. You know, they were writers, and my dad was a college professor. And because of that, you know, you grow up in a family that speaks English in, like, a proper, correct way. You have a natural advantage inside of the world because you grow up in a place where people know how to speak English and they know what the hell they're talking about. If you're using people that are using Ebonics or other types of, like, slang language and you don't know how to speak proper English, you're going to go to any sort of a business event or anything like that, and you're not going to have people respect you in the same way in a lot of cases because you talk like a retard. That's it. You talk like a retard. And so if people hear you talk like a retard, then they're going to think that you're retarded. It's that simple. You always wish for your children to not endure your struggles. Well, some people think the opposite. They can't they can't require voter ID because he lost his birth certificate when he was 7.
Not a joke. No, I mean, so this is madness. Voter ID. It's not about voter ID. The SAVE Act's not about that. It's about registration. It's about proving your citizenship with a passport.
Yeah?
Not everyone has a passport.
Nobody, I don't have a passport.
If you, I don't know you know where your birth certificate is? I lost that at 7. I mean, I don't even know where to begin to get it back.
How to get your birth certificate on Google. Like this, like, what do you mean? I don't know where to begin. What?
So these guys are not.
What are you talking about?
I mentioned the DOJ. I mentioned that we had to go.
Oh my God!
Talk about holding your breath. I've learned to hold my breath now. It used to be a minute. Now it's 6 minutes. I'm just getting stronger and stronger holding my breath. We were waiting. We didn't know how that decision would go. And so you're absolutely right. You have to be vigilant. You have to have poll workers out there, legal strategies out there.
Jesus.
You have to flood the zone. You have to show up in record numbers.
Jesus, bro, like getting rid of voter ID. They don't want to have voter ID. Oh my fucking God. Look how retarded. Look, I'm as retarded as you lower class citizens are supposed to be. Isn't that weird? Like, I feel like that's what's so cringe and, like, awkward about it. I don't get this at all. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Welfare check. Are y'all all right up in there? Are y'all all right up in there?
I'm fine.
You fine?
It's my son. It's fine.
Oh, it's your son? That's not cool right there. We don't have to get you help. You need some help?
Well, how old's your son? 12 years old. He's living here on the streets. Could we talk to your son?
Why do you want to talk to my son?
Just,
Tell him.
Years old. He's living here on the streets. Could we talk to your son?
Why do you want to talk to my son?
Just,
Tell him through the tent. Ask him through the...
Yo. Having it on AC and no fucking AC power is like a humidifier.
Welfare check. Hey, y'all all right up in there? Hey, y'all all right up in there?
We fine.
You fine?
It's my son. It's fine.
Oh, it's your son? That's not cool right there. We're going to have to get you. You need some help?
Well, how old's your son? 12 years old. He's living here on the streets. Could we talk to your son?
Why do you want to talk to my son?
Just,
Tell him through the tent. Ask him through the... Can we talk to him through the tent?
Yeah, you can talk to him through the tent.
Huh? You need something to eat? Something to drink? What you need? What you need? You need somebody to talk to? What's wrong? Huh?
Mad at me because I wouldn't let him use my phone.
You want a soda? I got a soda right here. I don't want to. The soda right here to you? How you want some money? How you want some money? I know that. You want some money? Take the soda. I can take this money.
And you better say please and thank you to everything that you are blessed with.
what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do for fun?
Ride bikes.
Ride scooters and stuff? What can we do to help you and your mom get off these streets?
How long have you been homeless, you know?
A few days.
A few days?
Is this the first time?
The first time we've ever been outside.
Well, we gotta figure out how to help this kid. Who can we go talk to get you guys off these streets?
Hey, this is a good dude right here, man. You might want to talk to him because he's a major dude and he can get you some help if you need it. So, I mean, he probably can get you and your mom some help. So you probably want to reach out to him because he's a major dude out here. So you might want to talk to him because he can get you some help. So if I was you, I would. Talk to him, Nick.
I'd like to figure out how to get you and your mom some help. Can we talk to you real quick? Promise we don't bite.
Get out?
Yeah, get out if you can. What do you think we could do? You stay here. He's coming out.
Oh, hold on.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Oh, my little man right there. How you doing, man? You in school?
Soon.
Soon. So right now, is there anything happening to kind of try and get you guys out of the tent into an apartment or something?
Right now, I'm just waiting for my income to come through.
How much money do you guys think you need to get into a place so you don't have to be on the street?
I have no idea. I don't know how much rent is out here or anything. All I know is...
And how old are you?
12.
12 years old.
So if Nick can get you the help, would you accept it?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So let's get to that camera right there and tell them, right? You know, I'm just telling you, this can help you. This is going to help you. Look at that camera and tell them.
And we got this little kid
how
here.
the system is treating you and your son right now.
You're 12 years old. You just got here on the streets.
We could use a lot of help because everything we've tried since we've gotten to LA has been horrible. We got all our stuff stolen as soon as we got here. And yeah, we just need as much help as we can get, and we appreciate everything
I'm all right. Think
that comes our way.
Thank you.
In Jesus' name, amen.
And young man, describe to the people what it's like living out here on these streets, because we want to get you off them. And we're going to post this video.
Scary.
Oh, look, the sun's coming out.
And what have you seen so far in these past few days? You're a 12-year-old boy in America living here in the streets of Los Angeles.
Cold. Coldness. I don't think he knows what to say because he's still a kid, but it's really scary out here, honestly.
And what have you seen for your son out here?
I mean, some people are nice, but a lot of the time it's kind of dramatic and crazy. There's a lot of nastiness on the streets and stuff. So people, it's just not exactly the greatest place to be.
No, by any means. Okay, well, I'm going to give you guys some money. Hopefully get you guys in a hotel for a few days. I'm going to take your mom's phone number down. All right, and then I'm going to post this video, and we're going to see how we can get you guys some help and put you in contact with the best people we can.
And you got to make us one promise. You're going to be nice to your mother. If you be nice to your mother, we're going to get you some help. Look in that camera right there and say you're going to be nice to your mother.
I'm going to be nice to my mother.
No, that's not convincing.
You didn't even
one more time.
You didn't even look at the camera.
I
never been on camera.
I'm going to be nice to my mother.
I'm going to be nice to my mother, I promise.
This 12-year-old here on the streets with his mom, we're going to pay for their hotel for the next 3 days. And then hopefully from there, I'm going to take down our contact info. We're going to make sure that this kid gets into school. This is what's going on here in the streets. And a 12-year-old has to live here. So this is what's going on. We're going to make sure this kid's not in the same situation. All right, we're going to give you guys $500, get you guys an Uber to here to an hotel, and we'll get you guys there for at least 3 nights.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, there you got $500. We're trusting you with that. And now I got to see you book the hotel and then the Uber as well. And then we'll leave you guys alone. What do you want to be when you grow up?
YouTuber.
YouTuber. Why do you want to be a YouTuber?
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. It is pretty fun. I enjoy it.
Maybe give a motivational speech.
Give a motivational speech? What speech would you give to the people right now?
Stay healthy, stay blessed, yeah.
In your 12 years of life, what have you learned the most?
Not to be greedy.
Not to be greedy. Wise words from a young man right here. We're gonna get him and his mom in a hotel for the next few days. Her hotel is confirmed for the next few days. We're gonna order her Uber right now. And if anyone here in the Los Angeles area wants to help this lady out and her son, or works in any sort of program that can get them housing, we cannot let a little 12-year-old not be in school and also not be sleeping in a safe condition. So reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with them. If you have a program, seriously, please help. I'll put a link. Pack up your stuff.
See, he's doing what the politicians should be doing. There should be more politicians out here doing the exact same thing.
Exactly.
You know, looking out for
Gavin Newsom can't even read, and this is why we're in a problem we're in, bro. It's like, it's stupid. I can't even, you cannot make this up.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit.
Like, this is so sad.
A lot of nonprofit, like a dude just got indicted last week for fraud. You know, he was feeding the homeless people noodles and stuff like that, and we was getting a lot of funding and stuff. So a lot of funding is going into the pockets of a lot of these politicians. You know, and like you say, though, it's a lot of.
Oh, thank you. Oh, look at this. The kid's offering out all this food. You keep your food. You keep it. You keep it. Yeah, you keep it.
That's just him. He likes to help people.
When's your birthday?
My biggest concern is for a woman to be homeless. Obviously, that's horrible. But for a child to be homeless as well, that's our biggest concern out here. And if people can't actually, if they have all these programs out here, and if they do see a child homeless, I feel like they should be expedite that process. It should be a priority. So hopefully with these next 3 days of your housing being taken care of, we'll be able to get you guys put somewhere, go out and do your best effort to make sure that he's taken care of. Because you should be in school too.
Thank you. We appreciate that so much.
Well, it looks like we're getting everything packed up, and then we'll get you to the Uber, and then you guys will be on your way.
Yeah, we're so excited, so blessed, so thankful. We appreciate you so much. Right, Isaiah?
Isaiah, the next YouTube star right here.
Isaiah!
One day you'll be able to pay it forward as well.
Hey, Isaiah.
And so how long have you and Isaiah been out here on the streets of Skid Row for?
We've been out here for 3 days now. We've been in LA on the streets on and off for 15 days, but we've come up with money to get a hotel here and there. We've slept in parking garage. We've slept at the hospital. And then we finally came up with the money to get a tent. And it may not be the best place in the world, but it was somewhere for us to go that was out of the rain. So it sucks that we had to be out here, but it was better than being in the rain.
Yeah. My big concern is if you've been out here in the most densely populated location of homelessness, where you have the most amount of NGOs, nonprofits as well, and they see a kid out here for 3 days and no one really took action to do anything.
Nope, not at all. Basically.
You're my boy, Isaiah.
Yeah, he might have had a temper tantrum earlier, but he seriously is one of the sweetest kids ever. Like, for real. He's always been a sweet kid.
I mean, just think about the situation he's in. He's 12 years old and he's trying to figure out and see what's going through life and doesn't know uncertainty. So, but we're gonna make sure we get you into school, into a place where you can at least sleep for the next few days, and then
what do you say?
Continue on for the next, hopefully next little bit as well.
The heated blanket, all of it.
Yeah, get the blankets, the jackets, anything you think you might want.
Jacket. Blanket. So are we leaving the tent or what? That's the thing.
Leave it.
Isaiah doesn't want that tent to be here anymore. Isaiah's never going back to the tent. Right, Isaiah?
Yeah.
Here we got all their stuff. Now it's time to order the Uber. Now we have Isaiah and his mom. They have all their stuff right here. The Uber is coming, and then they'll be off to their hotel for the next few days. And then we're gonna leave a bit of responsibility in the hands of Isaiah's mom to do everything she can to get into a next location for them to stay, as far as getting into one of these programs. And then we'll also do our own part as well to make sure that Isaiah stays off the streets and can get into school and continue to live a normal childhood. So look at this, we have this van right here. They're doing some sort of outreach, but meanwhile they had a 12-year-old sleeping on the streets for days without them even noticing.
They don't even care. They just down here to get their money. That's one of the programs. They pay people, you know, to sign signatures and things like that to get different proposition signs and things like that, you know, signatures to pass laws and stuff like that. They pay the homeless $1, you know, to boost the signature and use their ID. So that's another scam. You walk around here, you see lots of people and lots of booths set up like that, you know, medical scams, as far as health worker scams and things like that. So there's a lot of scams on that too.
And I just can't believe, literally, a few tents down, there's a 12-year-old living for multiple days out here. Meanwhile, you have these people making money off the homeless for getting signatures and all that sort of scam.
Think about it, you're going to see it's more homeless kids out here like that that's been overlooked and things like that. It's not getting help. There's a school right around the corner that buses kids from these tents and things like that, so-called getting them help. You also go on the food line, you'll see a lot of kids going into the free food line, to the shelters, going to get free food with their parents and stuff like that. So there's a lot of kids with their parents out here that need help.
All right, Uber's here.
Got it? Yep.
All right, peace out, Isaiah.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a good day.
See ya.
Thank you. Thank you. See ya. Now they're off to their hotel for the next few days. It's crazy to think that here in the United States we spend billions and billions of dollars on homelessness, yet you have 12-year-old children who've been out here openly on the streets for days and days, yet those billions of dollars aren't going towards the 12-year-old out of all the people that could be using it. Now that Isaiah and his mom are on their way in their Uber, this is the location where they're sleeping at for the past few days here inside the Skid Row. This is one of the most dangerous locations in all of America, yet a kid was able to stay out here for multiple days on end. This place receives billions and billions of dollars in funding through NGOs, nonprofits here in the state of California, yet a 12-year-old was left to be stranded here on the streets for multiple days, and nobody even took the time to put them into housing or anything. You have all these buildings and apartment complexes, but at the end of the day, it failed and a little kid was left to be out here on the streets by himself. This video isn't made for likes or views. It just goes to show and highlight the fact that this is what's happening here on the streets of the United States. But hope you all enjoyed, and God bless Isaiah and his mom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it was some kind of bite. Well, babe, that can make it get infected.
I just rolled it out.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at all that. Look at it.
I think it was a spider bite.
Look at all that
Yeah.
venom and shit.
I think it was some kind of spider. No, that was it's really burning. Well, that's me. I've been anemic.
Scratch. That's just. Something's going on. I just saw that there was a mini player feature. Maybe I could make this instead of a theater size screen, make it into a minier screen. It might be a better option. Because right now it is not loaded.
Iran's supreme leader just did something extraordinary. Khamenei, who's 86 years old and facing the largest US military buildup since Iraq, has handed over power to someone else. He's no longer running the war himself. On top of this, he has named 4 people to replace him in case he's assassinated. This is all happening while protests are erupting again across the country. On top of this, mysterious explosions are hitting Iranian military bases with no explanation from the authorities. Everything is converging and the regime is preparing for war and preparing for its own demise. Let me show you everything that's happening and stick around, because what Trump just revealed about the January massacre, well, that number is almost impossible to believe. It starts this morning. This morning, an explosion hit the Imam Ali military base near western Iran. Smoke rising, but no official explanation. This has been happening for days now. Mysterious explosions happening all over the country, but no public statements from the authorities. This time, the explosion was in the Tehran province. Smoke and fire visible from residential areas. The explosion was within the vicinity of a suspected underground IRGC military facility. Something is happening inside Tehran, whether it's sabotage, accidents, or preemptive strikes. The regime is not saying anything publicly. But it seems the frequency of that something is increasing every single day. But here's what the Iranian leadership actually believes right now. According to senior officials and 3 IRGC members, Iran believes a US strike is imminent despite the ongoing negotiations. Everyone is on maximum alert. Missile launchers are being positioned, air defense systems are being deployed, and personnel are moving into place. But here's what's surprising, and we'll get into the details very shortly. You see, the Iranian supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, is not the one who's running this preparation. He has handed down that authority to someone else. This is one of the most significant developments we have seen so far. According to the New York Times, Khamenei has delegated sweeping authority to Ali Larijani, his national security chief. Larijani is now overseeing core military and diplomatic matters, basically going above the head of the Iranian president. He's effectively running Iran's war preparation. So, here's who this man is. This is the same guy who masterminded the January crackdown. He's the one who took inspiration from the Tiananmen Square massacre that happened in China in 1989, and now he's applying the same methods to Iran. He runs war planning, he has crushed protesters, he handles nuclear negotiations, and he manages alliances with Russia, China, Qatar, and Oman. He controls everything and seems he's now in control of the whole country. This follows a familiar playbook in the Islamic Republic. Remember President Raisi, the guy who recently died in a helicopter crash? Well, before he became the president, he was known as the Butcher of Tehran. That's because every time there were protests in Iran, he was the one crushing the protesters. That's how you build political power in this regime, through blood. Larijani is following the same path, and now he has the keys. But Khamenei isn't just delegating power. He's planning for his own death. The supreme leader has laid out a layered succession plan, and he has already told every top official to name 4 replacements for themselves. 4, not just one backup, 4 layers deep. This is reminiscent of the 12-day war that happened last year, when Israel assassinated top military and nuclear leadership in very short time. Iran is bracing for that to happen again. Behind the scenes, Khamenei is running the world's bleakest HR department. Backup dictators, backup to backup dictators, and in case the leadership gets vaporized, a 4-string dictator. NFL teams don't have this many QBs. All the while he's giving speeches about how America will get slapped so hard it can't stand up, while quietly updating his will. And while the regime prepares for external war, they're also fighting an internal one. That means the protests have restarted. You guys remember the 40-day mourning cycle from the 1979 revolution that we talked about again? Well, here's a quick recap. In Shia Islam, families gather to mourn the dead after 40 days of them dying. That's when protests restart and grow. That's exactly what happened when the Iranian Revolution took place. And we are now approaching 40 days since the January massacre, and people are coming out to mourn, and the mourning is turning into chanting against the regime. This is exactly what brought down the Shah, and the same cycle is beginning again. Now, that's not the only thing that's happening. You see, yesterday was also
I still want accountability for the people of the leaders of Iran or anyone that's from there, the terrorist organizations that are over here. They need to be held accountable. They shouldn't have been allowed to enter our country, and they can't seek asylum. They should never be able to seek asylum.
The regime's response?
Period. There should never be.
Live fire. This is different
people related to them should never be able to be in the Americas.
Before they started using bullets. They waited almost 2
we
weeks.
use that same shit with us.
This time they're not taking any chances.
The same birds of a feather flock together.
They have seen how quickly
Kamala Harris,
spread,
right?
Or maybe because the U.S. pressure
so we should just adopt that.
Either way, the regime is using live ammunition from day one. That means the deaths are likely going up. Now, every time I talk about protesters getting killed by the Iranian regime, for some reason,
and deport
our
you to your
videos
prison,
are flagged and
but you won't go to prison, or
doesn't want
hold you
people
in
to
prison
talk about stuff that's not
and then release you
advertiser friendly.
to your
That's why,
country.
if you guys can please help us out in fighting against the algorithm
I don't
by hitting
necessarily
the like
think
and
that
subscribe button
spending
down below,
thousands and thousands
it really
of dollars
does
on
make a
somebody who
difference.
shouldn't
It
be
helps
here
us
is a
reach
great
more
idea.
people
So we should
so they
definitely
can
figure
learn
out
about what's exactly
an organization where
happening.
somebody
Now, let me
needs
show you why
thousands.
Iran is this scared.
like El
Because the
Salvador.
US buildup isn't just big. It's getting bigger
Thousands
and
and
bigger
thousands.
every single day. On your screen, you see the massive US Air Force bridge that has been running for weeks now. Every day, major transport aircrafts fly in with equipment, air defense systems, fighter jets, tankers, and munition. This isn't a one-time deployment. It's a continuous flow. That means every day someone tells you there's a big deployment, by next day, it has gotten bigger. According to experts, roughly 40 to 50% of America's deployable air power is now in this region. Let me put that
Yeah, we're
in
there, bro.
perspective. This is comparable to the air power that US used during the Iraq wars, either in 1991 under Bush 1 or in 2003 under Bush Jr. Never in history has the US deployed this much force against a potential
No, we're going
enemy
back to win.
and not launch strikes. That's exactly
We're not
what
going
Iran
back to
is
fuck
looking at.
around.
So, how is the Iranian regime
We're not playing in the sandbox.
Well, initially, they released a propaganda AI-made video. They were hoping this would work. Here's the video.
Oh man, I'm done. They already killed me. It's not even fun.
Based in a chilling propaganda
This is
video
crazy.
as Donald Trump prepares for fully fledged war with his mega armada.
This is almost over, folks. But like,
Terrifying AI.
I mean, you can definitely. I have this stuff in my QR codes,
Footage marks up the Muwafaq
so you can
Salti,
check it out
key
yourself. All
airbase
right.
in Jordan for obliteration.
I'm honestly just using it for the audio for me.
Video shows Iranian missiles targeting dozens of F-35 stealth jets, refueling tankers.
This is not
and
gonna work
MQ-9
unless I
Reaper
fall on the
drones.
spot. I think this is. Oh, hey, look at that. This is. Did somebody say Hail Mary? Come on, give me that fucking thing. My God, I'm gonna die. I can't even. I'm not even gonna. The Cazador came out of nowhere, bro. That's not even fair.
This is the video published by the IRGC showing what they'll do if the US strikes. They were showing US bases and a message of defiance.
This is why I can't go to my rock.
Execute any of this is another question.
So I have to run.
They are deploying equipment.
Come on.
The human rights organization operating in Iran.
God damn! Fucking like the sprint.
Military equipment to its western borders.
Okay.
On your screen, you can see Grad rocket systems. These are designed for short to medium range and high
put that down,
engagement.
You don't know what to use that.
Positioning for retaliation. Then we have satellite images that are showing us that Iran is deploying Russian S-300 air defense systems. Now, these air defense systems were operational during the 12-day war last June, but they weren't really that useful. We believed most of them were destroyed or at least degraded. So here's the question. Are these even functional, or are these just decoys? Because from the images that we see from satellites, the radar appears to be missing in some images. So these could be just plastic decoys that Ukraine and Russia both use on the front lines. Real or fake, it does tell us that tensions are at the maximum level possible. And here's the proof of how chaotic things are inside Iran right now. Remember the Iranian F-4 that went down 2 days ago? I actually made a video on it and I called it mechanical failure because I didn't have the information I have now. We know now that it was the IRGC that shot down their own F-4. They believed it was a foreign aircraft and they fired an air defense missile. The plane was damaged, but luckily it didn't crash. Nonetheless, the landing gear was destroyed. That's why when the pilot tried to land it, the plane couldn't touch down properly and the pilot died. Luckily, the co-pilot survived. Now, friendly fire is bad for any military, but for Iran, which barely has any operational jets, this has to be catastrophic. They're so on edge and so paranoid about incoming strikes that they're shooting down their own aircrafts. It's just pure panic. Now let me show you 2 things President Trump revealed that signal just how close we are to strikes.
Fair deal. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time. They were going to hang 800, 2 weeks ago, hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 837 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. And they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody. But no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell. Please.
For the first time, a US president has confirmed what administration believes to be the death toll from January, 32,000. Let that sink in. 32,000 killed in just 2 to 3 days. In 2026, that's almost impossible to comprehend. The fact that administration is publicly stating this number could be building political support for strikes. You don't release that figure unless you're preparing the public action to stop that kind of killing. And then there was this, a hot mic moment after a press conference where President Trump almost admitted something that he probably didn't want public to know.
You can leave now.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
I can say I am considering it.
That means strikes could come at any time. So we'll be sure to keep you guys updated. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay, a lot easier without having to skip ads and oh god, that was getting annoying. Edit. A lot more smooth. They had to go. There's no way we can coexist.
New report reveals that a secret coup was just launched against the supreme leader, orchestrated by none other than his top officials. This tells us that the regime is fundamentally fracturing under pressure. All this information is coming out while protests enter their third straight day. That's why Iran is now turning to terrorism. In fact, we have an Iranian regime supporter based in London who's now publicly talking about attacking Western civilians. It's just shocking, and we'll get into all that, starting of course with the coup report. This report comes from the French media outlet Le Figaro, one of the most credible sources in Europe. According to the report, the coup was launched by former Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and his foreign minister Mohammad Javad Zarif. These aren't outsiders. Rouhani was president for 8 years and Zarif negotiated the 2015 nuclear deal. These are regime insiders who decided that Khamenei had to go. The coup took place on January 7th, just one day before the massacre that killed tens of thousands of Iranians. And the coup had the support from clerics in the holy city of Qom. It also had support from people inside the IRGC itself. This was a serious attempt. It was coordinated and it almost worked. But it failed for one reason, and that reason was one man, Ali Larijani. Larijani is the National Security Council secretary and he refused to support this coup. Once he sided with Khamenei, the plot collapsed. Rouhani and Zarif were placed under house arrest, and Larijani, well, he was rewarded with complete control of the country, as we covered yesterday. The man who crushed the coup is now running Iran, and as we'll cover very shortly, he's now the one running negotiations with the United States. Khamenei is 86 years old. He just survived a coup attempt from his own former president. So he did what every dictator does at his age. He delegated power to the man who saved him. Yesterday we learned that later this week there's supposed to be another round of nuclear negotiations between Iran and the United States. Many people are saying that this could be the last round before any military action. And guess who's
we're not going in here.
Ali Larijani, Iran's de facto ruler. It's expected that Larijani will give the United States Iran's final offer. So, why do people think this may be the last round? Because the gap between what the US wants and what Iran is willing to offer is enormous. The US wants three things: end the nuclear program, dismantle the ballistic missile program, and cut support for proxy groups across the Middle East. Now, luckily, Iran is willing to discuss nuclear concessions, but missiles, well, they won't even talk about it. Here's Iran's foreign minister on American television just yesterday making that clear.
You're talking about nuclear. You are offering a nuclear-only deal at this stage because Secretary Rubio said anything meaningful would also have to involve ballistic missiles and your support for proxies in the region.
Well, right now we are negotiating only nuclear, and there is no other subject.
Okay. Would you be willing to allow weapons inspectors unfettered access to your nuclear sites and for American inspectors to be among them?
Well, we are a committed member of NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty, and we have a safeguard agreement with the agency, International Atomic Energy Agency, and we are ready to cooperate with the agency in full according to the safeguard, and we may accept with certain conditions the additional protocol to the safeguard, to the NPT, and I think a full verification mechanism, full monitoring mechanism is acceptable and can be in place.
Iran is willing to discuss nukes, but the US wants missiles too. And that's exactly why neither side is moving. And it looks like it's not just the United States that's preparing for negotiations to fail. Iran is preparing too. And here's how Iran is preparing, starting with weapons deal that just got leaked. Just this December, Iran signed a new weapons agreement with Russia worth approximately 500 million euros, about $590 million. The deal? Well, Russia will deliver 500 Verba man-portal air defense units, the launchers, and on top of that, 2,500 missiles over the next 3 years. Verba is Russia's most modern shoulder-fired system. It's like man-pads. It's infrared guided, capable of targeting cruise missiles, low-flying aircrafts, and drones. Now here's the catch, and this is important. According to the Russian document that got leaked, deliveries don't actually start until 2027, and then they run for 3 years, all the way through 2029. Iran is hoping though that they will get some of these units sooner, maybe this month. But even if they do, these are small systems and they're not going to stop a US air campaign. Now, if you had asked me just a few weeks ago whether Russia would sell air defense systems to Iran, I would have said no. You see, Russia just doesn't have enough for itself. Governors in Belgrade and Bryansk are begging the Kremlin for air defense systems. But these are not technically air defense systems. These are man-portable units, small, shoulder-fired missiles. Russia doesn't need them for drones and cruise missiles that Ukraine is using. So they're selling what they can to get some foreign currency in. It will not change the war, but it is a signal of where things are heading. And of course, the weapons deal isn't the only deterrent Iran has. Their real threat is something else, and it's aimed at civilians. Iran-backed militias in Iraq have announced that they will attack US targets in the region if America strikes Iran. Now, that's expected, but it gets worse. According to the New York Times, Western security officials are monitoring increasingly worrisome signs that Iran could direct its proxies to carry out retaliatory terrorist attacks in Europe, the Middle East, and possibly in the United States.
It's called gaslighting. If they don't have any money to do it, how are they going to do it?
Raising alarms.
I'm just going to go Allah boom in the entire country? Like, I don't even understand their freaking concepts lately.
Aren't even hiding it. Here's a man based in London, publicly talking about killing civilians if US strikes Iran. Just take a listen.
While Mr. Khamenei speaks of a regional war, other regime officials must state how they will topple the Burj Khalifa and burn all businesses in Dubai to the ground. Also, they should clarify how they go to sleep every night dreaming of the destruction of all water desalination plants in Dubai. It is a pity that it is currently winter and not the peak of summer heat. Otherwise, the people of Dubai would be running through the streets screaming in agony from thirst in 50 degrees Celsius of summer heat. This is the format and content that should be aired on state TV. Don't be afraid to terrify the enemy. Starting tonight, there needs to be tough talk and decisive action against the UAE. The Oligarchs Trustees network must be repatriated to Iran from the UAE by force. If they refuse, arrest their parents. Once their parents are in custody, they will return to Iran with all the money that needs to come back. In the event of war with the US, this regime will not collapse. Instead, the level of brutal domestic crackdown will intensify 20-fold. If Trump uses imperialist tactics to incite protests during war, then all regimes have a duty to, and this regime will consider it legitimate to kill the people. The 3,200 cries of agony you witnessed will be multiplied by 50.
Luckily, the United States knows all about this, and that's why the US government is preparing accordingly. The US has evacuated all non-essential personnel from the embassy in Beirut. The reason for this is simple: Hezbollah, Iran's proxy groups across the Middle East, have publicly said that they will join the war if the US attacks Iran. Hezbollah is the strongest of them. They have lost their leadership over the past 2 years, but they still have guns and rockets. That's why US is not taking any chances. They remember what happened in the 1980s. And here's what Trump has told advisors about the strike plan. If diplomacy fails and if any initial targeted strikes doesn't force Iran to comply, then he will consider a much larger attack later in the year.
This sucks.
The goal? Help topple Khamenei entirely. But there's one big problem. General Raising Keynes, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs Staff,
Oh my
before the
God.
Venezuela operation that the success was highly likely, and
Rhonda.
he delivered. For Iran, though,
She
he has
made
not been
it.
able to give same reassurances, mainly because it's a much
She
more
made
difficult
it.
operation. The military can hit targets, but whether strikes will actually change the regime's behavior or trigger something much worse, nobody knows for certain.
Look at her
While all
go.
this is happening externally, the regime is losing control internally again. Protests have now continued for 3 straight days, and they're growing. Today, on day 3, something significant happened. Iranian women joined in large numbers, chanting "Long live the Shah." And that's not
Says a
just
pretty
protest
bird.
slogan, that's a direct challenge to the entire Islamic Republic, calling for a return
Wow,
to
she's all listening to the other birds too. That's
the
cute.
IRGC's response? Well, they stormed
How
the
nice.
universities. They attacked students with live bullets and tear gas in broad daylight. This time, the regime isn't worried about the world seeing their brutality. They are past that. They are in survival mode.
Okay, so here we go.
The Trump administration planning a new mission to target cartels in Mexico. This is all according to 4 current and former U.S. officials familiar with that effort.
So after recent incursions at the U.S. southern border, America's military is going to do something about this. Gearing up for a new operation that could soon see U.S. troops cross the border into Mexico for the first time in a long time as they raid cartel compounds, doing the work Mexico's government refuses to do. Meanwhile, the organized criminals hiding in Mexico are doing everything they can to sneak themselves back into our country while they still can.
This would be primarily U.S. military, specifically from Joint Special Operations Command, combined with CIA intelligence officers. So the mission itself, it would be largely the U.S. military and these intelligence officials using drones to target cartel members, cartel leadership.
But when you said it's a message to Sheinbaum, who is the president of Mexico, do you think she doesn't have control over these cartels?
Oh, absolutely not. She has zero control over any of these cartels, and they're embedded all the way up into the highest levels of her government.
Yeah, they're only increasing in their capabilities and their sophistication, and they're actually weaponizing their drones as well. We've been reporting on this for months, for years. The criminal cartels are actually strapping bombs onto drones, and they use them against rival cartels.
If the cartels are starting to use drones, I don't want to scare people, but could you imagine a pickup truck full of 100 drones sitting on the approach corridor at Fort Lauderdale International Airport?
And some of those operations could entail the United States military being on the ground in Mexico to carry those out.
Here it is. Border drone incursions from these cartels. It's forcing the United States to act for the first time. But what nobody's talking about is when President Trump got elected, the border, it got shut down in a way these criminal organizations never expected, which has brought us to the point where we are today. A point where these criminals who were making $13 billion a year smuggling untold numbers of illegal immigrants into our country are pulling out all the stops to try and create pathways back in once again, bringing these cartels to the brink of open warfare with the greatest military in the entire world who could wipe them out with the press of a button. But they don't think that's gonna happen because it's never happened before. And for decades, these guys have had a safe haven in Mexico, which for some reason hasn't figured out how to stop them. And right now they're turning things up a notch, which is why we're seeing increasingly bizarre attempts from these folks to sneak across the border, including recent seaborne attempts in broad daylight at a time when President Trump's made it clear nobody should be floating around on a boat, revealing the desperate lengths these criminals are going to in order to try and keep their empire afloat before it collapses. Which brings us to the real reason the United States may soon do something big. This recent shutdown at the El Paso airport, which took place because of drone-related activity at the border, it's forced America to enter a new phase in the war at the border. And as you're about to see, we're on the cusp of witnessing an offensive in Mexican territory that hasn't happened in centuries. And while analysts say this latest cartel incursion amounts to an invasion by a hostile military force, everyone knows these things only happen because that hostile force has a safe haven in Mexico, where they're outflanking their own authorities who can arrest them, yes, but only seem to do so under international pressure for the news cameras, while never seeming to arrest enough cartel members to end these organizations once and for all. And look at what some folks are now doing to try and sneak across the most secure border in U.S. history. So here we got something very interesting. We've got some folks who are sneaking across the border, but these are actually illegal aliens dressed up as construction workers. Look at them hiding on the side of the road, sneaking up, and here they go. Look at that. They've walked across the border. They're now in the country, and they look like they belong in this environment because of their disguises. However, this is all being monitored by Border Patrol, and this little plan these guys came up with did not work because they were caught and apprehended. And shockingly, these aren't just land incursions. They're now in the country, and they look like they belong in this environment because of their disguises. However, this is all being monitored by Border Patrol, and this little plan these guys came up with did not work because they were caught and apprehended. And shockingly, these aren't just land incursions we're talking about. We got people coming across on boats right now.
Move forward! Get off the steering wheel!
What was the position of the international?
What's wild about this is the idea of being in a small boat like that right now when you got the U.S. military all over the Caribbean. That's incredibly dangerous, but these cartels, they're selling that opportunity to their customers who they're going to sneak into the country with a massive debt hanging over their head that they're going to have to work off for years in some counterfeit version of the American dream. This is Frightening stuff, it really is. But as you're about to see, the recent drone activity and orders from cartel members that their underlings shouldn't be afraid to confront U.S. law enforcement, this has the United States changing up how it secures the border. And all these little games that are being played by these criminals, well, they're about to come to an end.
Okay, ground stop to 0630 for how long?
10 days.
So the airport's totally closed?
Drones used by cartels has been an ongoing problem along the border, but the AP is now reporting that a new laser was used by the government to bring down those cartel drones. And last-minute concerns over commercial flights in the area sparked the shutdown. Let's get out to News Nation's Ali Bradley, who is live in Texas with the very latest.
So, a laser weapon was used to down drones near an airport at the U.S. border. This is big, and it shows that the United States is taking seriously the threat of a technological invasion. You can't have gang members and criminals flying these things over our border without anything being done about it. What are they using these things for? They're using them to guide criminals who want to sneak into the country. They can see all of where the Border Patrol and the military assets are. They can monitor patrols, and they're helping people navigate into the country without permission. This is a massive disaster. Plus, these things are also weapons. They've changed battlefields across the world, and these cartels use them on each other in less than peaceful ways, which is frightening.
As well, we've been reporting on this for months, for years here at News Nation. So the criminal cartels are actually strapping bombs onto drones, and they use them against rival cartels. This is happening mostly on the other side of the border. The drones they're using, they're even bigger than those little ones that you or I would use as well. At one point, they were using French agricultural drones to carry heavier loads like explosives. Now, the cartels are also reportedly using devices to interrupt or scramble devices on the U.S. side that are tracking the criminal organization's movements. And we're not talking about just a handful here. We're talking about a lot of drones, Nicole, because a top general actually testified to the Senate last year that they're seeing 1,000 drone incursions from the Mexican cartels each and every month down here at the southern border.
1,000 drone incursions a month? That's an invasion, folks. Doesn't matter if the drones are robots. They're being piloted by people hiding right on the other side of the border wall, right behind Ali Bradley. And this is getting absolutely zero attention from the mainstream media in this country because it totally goes against the idea that illegal immigration is some sympathetic thing America should be open to because it actually makes our country better, when the very people coordinating it are criminals who do not want to help anyone but themselves. And if you were under the impression that the border was just, a few people here and there wearing construction vests, no big deal, not a massive thing. Look, a few years ago, the border was exploited in a massive way. And now we're learning that the people who did that took all the money that they earned and armed themselves, which has been an absolute disaster for the wonderful people of Mexico who aren't gang members or criminals. Look at this. Just recently, Border Patrol captured Mexican cartel scouts operating on the U.S. side of the border. These folks entered the country illegally, but they've got the money and power to do this and the territory to help them do it, all of which has been stolen from our country and from Mexico. The law-abiding do not benefit from this on either side of the border. And the fact that this is still happening in 2026 is the reason Mexico's president is now on notice.
Well, Dana, that's a message sent to President Sheinbaum. President Trump said, sit on these cartels, we're going to do it for you. So I think that was a shot across the bow to Mexico. If you don't get your house in order, we're going to do it for you. Dana, as you alluded to, the last time I saw a message like this, a notice to airmen using deadly force space, was on September 12th.
Wow.
This is bad. There's a great Tom Clancy movie, Clear and Present Danger, where the Ronald Reagan-like president said these cartels represent a clear and present danger to the United States.
A clear and present danger to the United States. That's exactly what this is. And you know something? When these cartels are a clear and present danger to each other and to the people in Mexico and to their own government, which is never able to suppress them and stamp these guys out, there's no amount of law enforcement over there that can ever seem to get rid of them. It makes sense that they would also be a problem for Americans. But you know what? Some Americans who think the open border is a wonderful, great thing and have been brainwashed into believing that don't believe any of this stuff. They don't even want to hear about these drones. They think this is all fake news. These are people who would see these construction workers sneaking across the border and then do everything they can to stop the federal government from arresting them. We don't even know who these individuals are. We don't know their background. All we know is that they were able to get across the most secure border in U.S. history with the help of human smugglers. On top of that, whenever Mexico has some operation and they go out, arrest a bunch of cartel people, and they ship them off to the United States so they can be prosecuted, how do you think those people got taken down? These cartels have been a few steps ahead of their government for a long time. They've got operatives throughout the entire government. You better believe that when tanks are rolling down the street to try and find these guys, that those in charge already know what's going to happen, and anybody who's still hanging out there is supposed to get captured on purpose so that everybody can save face and so that these organizations can survive for another 10 years.
American citizens. Dana, last year, do you remember when Ukraine snuck some 18-wheelers into Russia or built some like fake houses near air bases? Somebody pressed a button on their cell phone, the roofs opened up, and they took out 25% of that bomber fleet. If the cartels are starting to use drones, I don't want to scare people, but could you imagine a pickup truck full of 100 drones sitting on the approach corridor at Fort Lauderdale International Airport and flying those drones up into the flight path of an aircraft?
What do we always hear from advocates of an open border? We always hear from them, they say, oh, well, you know, the people who want to shut the border, the people who say that there's gang members and criminals out there, they're just trying to scare everybody. We have no credible information that gang members are exploiting this thing. Fear is one thing, but being proactive about the future is another. If you got a country to defend and you're aware of how these things are being used in other parts of the world to cause chaos, the last thing you want to do is to allow an operation like that to possibly set itself up just on the other side of the U.S. border here. And it's not just Mexican cartels who are operating in this territory. We just saw how Venezuela was home to Hezbollah, an Iranian paramilitary organization operating right there in their country in South America. We got criminals from all over the world who don't like us. Foreign actors from all over the place that would love to do something to hurt America. And you know who's going to help them do it? Cartels that have allegiance to no one but themselves. This territory over here, this is a huge red flag, and it's a good thing the United States finally started taking this seriously.
On the Hudson, we've seen what birds can do to the intake of engines. What do you think drones can do? So this is big, and we really need to get a handle on this.
Also, just a quick comment, if you would, on drones are relatively cheap to produce.
Correct. Absolutely. Look at warfare's changed in Ukraine, Dana. You can strap a small warhead on a drone and take out a multi-million-dollar tank, for example. So we need to wake up to what's going on. Good on the Army Air Defense folks at Fort Bliss who took down a bunch of these drones. Our young men and women on the tip of the spear. But we're worried about wars going on around the world, Dana. We got to worry about what's going on our own border.
And if we don't, who do you think's going to take advantage of that opportunity? You can't be complacent and sit on your hands and say, well, we have no credible information. You can't act like that forever before something happens. And in hindsight, you're saying, oh, gee, the warning signs were everywhere. Oh, this was an intelligence failure of the highest magnitude, and somebody should be like, we don't want to have these conversations. You need to be proactive when it comes to your country's border. And you got to remember that when the border was wide open, these guys were making $13 billion a year. They were able to power up and solidify themselves and arm themselves in a way that they never really were before. You give all of this money, you give billions to criminals. Don't be surprised if those criminals turn into a small army, take over territory in Mexico, become more powerful than their own military. But the U.S. military isn't the only tool the Trump administration has to get Mexico to stop empowering America's adversaries.
Mexico's tariffs of up to 50% on Chinese products are good news for this shoe factory in León. They say they've long been undercut by Chinese competition.
This problem affects all types of companies, small, medium, family-run, artisanal, so I think we'll all benefit.
But is that the real reason that Mexico slapped tariffs on the Asian superpower? Analysts say it has more to do with pressure from next door, the United States.
So Mexico just put 50% tariffs on China. And as we just heard from a local shoe factory in Mexico, China has been ripping off Mexico with the help of the Mexican government because they didn't have any barriers to Chinese products entering that economy and putting local shops out of business. But with Trump saying, hey, look, you better play ball. You better stop letting your country be exploited, because what happens is these goods come into China and then they make their way into the United States, getting around various sanctions, getting around the tariffs the United States is trying to put on. Well, now that there are tariffs in Mexico, local businesses in Mexico are finally getting relief from unfair competitive practices that have been destroying the local economy here. And who was benefiting from that? The government was benefiting from that. Criminals benefit from it too, by the way. If the cartels are the only groups in Mexico that can get ahead because local businesses can't survive and nobody can survive, nobody can make money, what do you think's gonna happen? Who do you think's gonna end up running this place? The same people that run it today. So these tariffs that Mexico just put in on China, under pressure from the United States, obviously, this is another thing that's gonna be good for the law-abiding everywhere and the people in Mexico.
President Trump's long worried that the country is a backdoor for Chinese goods to get into the North American Free Trade Zone, which Mexico shares with the US and Canada.
Eliminating
the country's
tariffs.
been under pressure to do something about it, although President Sheinbaum denied its appeasement.
We have great respect for China and very good relations with them. The reason for these adjustments to the law has to do with strengthening the national economy.
Right, yeah, 50% tariff is not an adjustment. That is a visceral reaction from an external force. And you know something? I feel bad for the Mexican government, because the Mexican government, even though they're in league with the cartels and even though they've been doing things that are helping China and we're helping Venezuela, I feel bad for them because they are a direct representation of how powerless the people of that country are. Think about this for a second. All the Mexican government can do is appease these cartel organizations. That's why they still exist. That's why they have territory all over the place. That's why there are maps of Mexico that look like what I'm showing you on the screen right now. This is what appeasement looks like. And you know something? A 50% tariff on China, is that appeasement for the United States? Yeah, it is. But guess what? A 0% tariff on China that allows China to come in and put local Mexican businesses out of business, that's appeasement in the other direction. This country, its people have been impoverished, they've been taken advantage of, and they are getting blown around by the wind because nothing in Mexico benefits the common people there. An open border doesn't benefit them. A U.S. lax attitude towards these criminal organizations doesn't benefit them at all. Things could get much better in Mexico in the near future if the United States acts. What do you think about that? I'll see you in the next video.
I had to use the restroom. Oh, I can tell that's the same QR code. Oh, I can tell it's the same QR code. I can tell it's the same QR code. Here we go. Tickle me Elmo. Will it survive the particle accelerator?
Are these centers? No, they're unmarked. And I said through centers because if they're off center, they look.
Rip Elmo.
The cartel war has officially exploded and the streets of Mexico are burning. For years, ME-N-CHO ruled the country's most brutal criminal empire with absolute impunity. But that era of invincibility just came to a violent end. Yesterday, Mexican special forces carried out a major operation in Jalisco targeting CNG, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, and its leader known as ME-N-CHO. According to the Mexican government, during the raid, troops were attacked and they returned fire. Several cartel members were killed. ME-N-CHO was seriously wounded and airlifted to a hospital in Mexico City, but he died en route. 2 others died with him, but 2 cartel members were arrested. Heavy weaponry like rockets, armored vehicles, and military-grade equipment was seized. During the operation, 3 Mexican soldiers were also injured, but they are now receiving treatment in hospital. Luckily, there were no fatalities on the government side. In fact, we have a clip of a Mexican soldier that's believed to be from this operation. Take a listen.
Look, the damn bullet got stuck right here, you son of a... It almost took me out, you see?
Yeah.
They really f***ed me up, man.
Did you drop it?
Yeah, man, I threw it down. No way, man.
The US played a major role in this operation, though officially this was a Mexican operation. In a second, we'll get into exactly what US provided, but first, you need to understand who this guy was. ME-N-CHO wasn't just a cartel leader, he was the most wanted drug trafficker in the world. The United States had a $15 million bounty on his head, and Mexico added another $20 million. That's $35 million combined, higher than any terrorist, any war criminal, or anyone else in the world. The reason for this was pretty simple. He was the main supplier of cocaine into the United States. And I'm only half joking when I say that the Miami economy is gonna take a big hit now that he's gone. Now here's where it gets interesting. As a teenager, ME-N-CHO came to the United States illegally. He stayed in the country for some time, but he was arrested in the early 90s for drug-related offenses and deported back to Mexico. Surprisingly, after returning, he actually became a police officer for a short time. Yep, a cop. But afterwards, he quickly got involved with cartels like the infamous Sinaloa cartel. When the leader of that cartel died in 2010, ME-N-CHO founded his own organization, CJNG, which roughly translates to Jalisco New Generation Cartel. It was literally a new generation, and it became the most brutal cartel Mexico has ever seen. Now here's where things get even more interesting. The cartel's business wasn't just drugs. Some of their most lucrative operations were timeshare fraud and fuel theft. The timeshare scheme alone, targeting mostly elderly Americans, generated hundreds of millions of dollars in pure profit every single year. Safe to say, this cartel was basically a criminal empire. And because of that and all that money they were making, they had equipment that made them look like a modern day military. Take a look. Look at this footage. Cartel members decked out like soldiers, armored vehicles, rockets, military grade weapons. This is why they were more brutal than any other cartel before them. Whenever they didn't get their way, they would go on a killing rampage to blackmail the government into compliance. This is why, here's what President Trump said about this Mexican cartel just a few months ago, right after US captured Nicolas Maduro. Take a listen.
Well, it wasn't meant to be, and we're very friendly with her. She's a good woman, but the cartels are running Mexico. She's not running Mexico. The cartels are running Mexico. And we could be politically correct and be nice and say, oh, yes, she is. No, she's very, she's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico. And I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, Mr. President. No, please. So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. They like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people. And we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way, in case you don't know. But they come in through the southern border, and something's going to have to be done with Mexico.
But I want to show you something that really captures ME-N-CHO's power. This is a recording of a phone call between him and a police officer who was apparently interfering with cartel business. Listen to this and you'll understand who actually ran Jalisco. Now, this call is a little bit blunt, because a cartel leader is speaking. He's a terrorist here in the United States, so YouTube may restrict our video for this call. So if you guys can please take a second, hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps us fight back against the algorithm. Now, here's that call.
Delta 1?
Yo, who's speaking?
Look here, you son of a bitch. It's ME-N-CHO dumbass.
Huh?
You better tell your fucking people to leave us alone. It's ME-N-CHO dumbass. Get your fucking men to fall back or I'm going to fuck up you and your whole squad. I have 30 of you located and identified. I'll even kill your fucking dogs if you don't chill out, bro. What do you think about that?
You got it, sir. I'll tell the police squads to fall back.
No, you better not hang up, mother. I've got your location right now, dumbass.
No, sir. I'm not hanging up. I was just saying, I'll let them know.
Get your shit together, dumbass. Didn't you guys agree to work with us? We agreed not to fuck with you guys, and in return, you want to fuck with us?
No, sir. I'll tell them to back off.
Look, tell your sons of to fall back because all of you happily accept my money, you pigs.
Yes, sir. They're telling me right now.
Get your shit together, or you'll be the first one that I'll make an example of.
No, sir. No, sir. We won't have any more problems.
Watch yourself because I'll spill blood at a moment's notice. You already know what's up.
No, sir. There's no problem.
So if you guys want us to be friendly, then you be friendly. If not, go f*** yourselves then.
No, I know, sir.
I'm so f***ing fed up that you guys can't understand instructions.
Sir, you know me. You know I'm on your side?
Well, that's why I'm so surprised you I understand you got people and family to take care of, but get your fucking shit together.
No, I know, sir.
I don't want you to turn off your fucking phone. I'll call you again real soon to find out if you guys chilled the fuck out, got it?
No, right now I'm going to call...
That goes for all of you. Everybody in general, bro. Tell everyone to chill the fuck out, please.
Yeah, for sure, and I'll call you back on this number.
No, don't call this number back. I'll call back when I can.
You got it.
But don't turn off your phone because I'll interpret that as disrespect.
No, sir. Right now, I'll let them know with a different device.
All right. Well, that's what I hope. That you guys leave us the fuck alone.
Yes, sir. You know me. All I have is respect for you.
Same for all you guys, and I apologize for the foul language.
I got the crew here. I'll send them your regards.
All right, then. Tell them to fall back and that it's an order from me.
Yes, boss.
We're done then.
That makes it clear. In Jalisco, the power wasn't with the government or the police. It was with ME-N-CHO. For years, it seemed like Mexico either couldn't arrest him or just didn't want to. But this year, something changed. The pressure from the US government increased dramatically. Few months ago, we had Secretary of State Marco Rubio actually go to Mexico to visit and meet with the Mexican president. And then just 10 days ago, we had US Special Forces land in Mexico to train Mexican Marine infantry. That timing was not a coincidence. You see, the intelligence for this operation came from a joint task force that was formally launched just last month. Multiple US agencies involved with one goal. Their goal was to map out cartel networks on both sides of the border. Luckily for us, last month, the leader of the task force actually gave an interview to Reuters, and that interview gives us a lot of interesting insights. According to him, the cartels operate differently than Al-Qaeda or ISIS. They have different motivations and different structures. At the top of the cartel hierarchy, you have maybe a few hundred core members, but supporting them, there are roughly 250,000 independent contractors who help cartel move drugs across the border. To disrupt that supply chain, the task force had to identify the entire network. Luckily though, according to the leader, the surveillance capability that was given to this task force was basically, and I quote, close to unlimited, end quote. Now, of course, after the operation was made public, the US officials officially stressed that this was a Mexican military operation. But the US task force did provide a detailed targeting package, a dossier with all the intelligence that Mexico needed to find ME-N-CHO and capture him. Unfortunately for ME-N-CHO though, the capture did not go according to plan. The Americans basically found him, but the Mexicans killed him. Now, it was a satisfying operation already, but here's something even more satisfying about this thing. It involves the man who saw or who oversaw the whole operation. You see, roughly 6 years ago in 2020, ME-N-CHO tried to assassinate a man named Omar Garcia Harfus. At the time, Harfus was the Secretary of Citizen Security for Mexico. He was basically making life difficult for the cartel. That's why El-Mencho sent hitmen to take out Harfous. And Harfous was hit 3 times. 3 bullets hit him in the body. But luckily, he walked away bleeding but alive. El-Mencho believed that he had won the war. He had sent a message that would scare any government official. Unfortunately though, El-Mencho was wrong, because Omar Garcia Harfous is now Mexico's Secretary of Security, and he was the person who oversaw the exact forces that just killed El-Mencho. The man who survived the assassination attempt got his revenge 6 years later. What's more satisfying than that? Now, let me show you what's happening after El-Mencho was captured, because this is where things get a little ugly. On your screen, you see the first moments of the cartel response in Puerto Vallarta. At this point, the cartel probably didn't know that the El-Mencho was dead, they just believed that he had been captured. So they did what cartels have been doing for the last few years: attack everything. They went after civilians, infrastructure, anything they can to create chaos. The goal was to basically blockade the special forces before they can extract the captured leader, blackmail the government into giving him back. This time though, they were too late. As we just discussed, El-Mencho died very soon after he was captured. But unfortunately for Mexico, that just made the violence worse. The cartel members burned gas stations, they attacked international airports, and they also set Costco's on fire. On top of all this, the violence wasn't just limited to Jalisco. It spread across multiple Mexican states. This cartel had operations everywhere, and now their members everywhere were responding to the death of their leader. Caught in the middle of all this were innocent civilians and of course thousands of tourists, many of them American and Canadian. International airlines are canceling flights. Some even turned around mid-flight when they learned what was happening. And the US State Department has urged Americans to shelter in place. Puerto Vallarta, one of Mexico's most popular tourist destinations, is effectively now locked down. The cartel sent messages through their group chats, threatening violence against civilians unless the people who killed El-Mencho surrender to the cartel. Now, of course, that's not gonna happen. That's why the threat from the cartel is real. Now, talk about the timing in all this. One of Canadian investigative journalists is actually trapped in this city. His name is Dan Dix. He's been documenting what's happening on the ground. Take a listen.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you here live in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Just had the military driving past me, and as I understand it, I should not be around anywhere where the police or the military are, because they are the target right now. As you can see, this whole place is like deserted right now because there's burning cars back there, burning cars right here still smoldering, and the situation is incredibly intense. As I'm sure you've already heard, there was a top drug lord cartel member, El-Mencho, who has been killed. I believe there was a $15 million bounty on this man's head, and he is now dead, and that has caused this whole situation to pop off. The place looks like an absolute war zone right now, folks. Cartel has been setting up blockades in the streets, stopping cars. A whole bus was set on fire. You've got cartel members who literally look like the military. These guys are serious. These guys mean business. Costco was set on fire. A hospital was under attack. People running for their lives.
Luckily, by the end of the day, we did have some good news. It looks like Mexican military had mobilized in huge numbers, and they have taken back control of the airport and most of the major cities. But this isn't over. Here's what comes next. The cartel will likely descend into a civil war. El-Mencho's lieutenants will fight each other for the control of the empire, the drug routes, the timeshare fraud, the fuel theft, and all of it. The violence will shift from cities to villages, and it will become less visible but still no less brutal. On top of it, there's one important thing to consider. The timing could not be worse for Mexico. The FIFA World Cup starts in a few months. Mexico is one of the 3 host countries. The eyes of the world will be watching. The violence will probably calm down by then, but the images of burning cities and trapped tourists, well, those aren't going away anytime soon.
Okay, had to address the situation here.
Traveling in Mexico, you need
Okay. Here we go. We're going to try to find Pushy before we get the rest of these lake lurks.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Mexico has fallen, and if you are an American visiting or traveling in Mexico, you need to seek shelter immediately by order of the U.S. government and the embassy, because Mexico is in a state of all-out war. Terrorist attacks happening at resorts, terrorist attacks happening at shopping centers, at Costco's, cars being used as deadly weapons, vehicle checkpoint stops. Absolute and total chaos in the terrorist state of Mexico for a very long time. We have called Mexico a failed state, saying that the government is under the complete and total control of the cartels, and we have just proven that today. Mexico has fallen. Check this out. Cartel attacks. American tourists left stranded in beautiful Mexico hotspots as cartels torch cars and wreak havoc in Code Red attack. The U.S. State Department has issued a security alert for all Americans stranded in the area to shelter in place and to minimize their movements. There's fiery chaos after federal forces conducted an operation to kill a prominent cartel leader, and now the streets are filling with blood. Catastrophic photos from across the city showed buses exploding in flames, homes being torched, billowing black smoke everywhere. The intense commotion and code red warning was triggered in the early hours Sunday. Mexican army went into the rustic town of Tlapa, which is about 170 miles east of Puerto Vallarta, and they killed El-Mencho. And this is apparently the name of the cartel leader, El-Mencho, according to high-ranking officials who spoke to local publications. El-Mencho was the head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, one of Mexico's most powerful drug cartels, and played a key role
Here we
in
go.
trafficking
Okay, I found a
of
nice
meth
little
and
spot.
fentanyl to the United States. It has now been revealed
save here.
that there is a direct connection to the U.S. Special Forces, who helped in the targeting and giving the Mexican army data on where El-Mencho was, and they went and they yeeted him.
Yeet.
The Mexican army killed him. So Puerto Vallarta, which is a very famous Mexican
Apparently you can't shoot him from here, which is
resort
what I
town,
wanted, but
is now
I have other weapons
under
of choice
siege.
now, including a multiplus rifle, which is pretty good.
Videos at the Guadalajara International Airport have seen circulating, showing smoke rising, people fleeing the terminals, running down the tarmacs. It's crazy. It's like Afghanistan withdrawal level crazy. Let's go look at some of the videos and photos because they are insane. Just a commentary on El-Mencho, who's the head of the drug cartel there in Mexico, the most powerful drug cartel. I once spent 5 days with Mexican cartel to make a docuseries. They were by far the scariest, most ruthless people I have ever been around. Their value for life is non-existent. This guy was the absolute worst of them all. Goodness gracious. Okay, well, there he is right there. Wild passengers are fleeing onto the tarmac. Look at this. Passengers are running across the tarmac in the airport, at the Puerto Vallarta International Airport. Again, this is a very, very famous airport. Gunmen are storming the airport. Look at this. Mexicans just running just sprinting out of the airport. Just running across the terminal, just running across the runway. This is just crazy. Listen to them. Just wild. So you can hear, obviously, the sirens are blaring. It's a $15 million reward by the U.S. State Department for his killing. ME-N-CHO, again, is his name. Look at these passengers fleeing onto the tarmac, fleeing into the grass. Absolute insanity. There's smoke billowing out of the actual terminal itself. The airport has apparently been taken over by the cartel and by gunmen. Blockade underway. Civilians are being taken out of their vehicles. Shelter in place. You can see here the blockade taking place across this major, looks like a major roadway, major interstate.
It was like, oh no.
And they're commandeering vehicles. This is crazy. This is the cartel doing this. This is crazy. So they're just deciding to take this
Okay,
vehicle.
it's not crazy, dude. It's not that crazy. I
So
mean, I
taking
knew
this
these people
vehicle,
were just like
they're kicking out
Hamas.
the owners,
It's not just one or
and
two.
they're
It's like
taking- now they're
50,000 of
taking
these
over
guys
this truck.
and more. Like that are just
Failed
like
state.
advocating for like
Intense
anarchy,
clashes
and it's not
between
right.
Mexican authorities and the cartel.
Okay.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Somebody just filming from their store. Smoke billowing and rising. Again, you can see the high-rise resorts. Look at this footage. Look at this. And again, this is like a very, very famous resort town in Mexico. They're setting the entire thing ablaze. There's no doubt thousands, maybe tens of thousands of Americans that are there right now. Look at this place. That is crazy, man. Chaos at the airports after ME-N-CHO is killed. People are urged to stay indoors. There's gunmen roaming through the airports, no doubt looking to take prisoners. What they're doing here, they're looking to take hostages. That's what's happening. It's being taken over right now by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. This is one of the host cities for the 2026 World Cup. That's crazy. Dozens, if not hundreds of people are fleeing right onto the runways of the airports. Chaos breaking out at the airport. Again, this is just one of the locations. You can see the Costco is now on fire. Listen up.
Okay, I'm going to drink some more water and then get out of
You
here.
south of the border bastards. If you burn my Costco, you burn a Costco. That is sacred.
Okay,
to
Benny.
Americans. How
Benny,
dare you.
I've never been to a
How dare you.
Costco and I've
This is
served. Quit it.
That has crossed
Benny,
the line.
Benny.
You've now crossed the line. It's amazing to
Benny,
think
don't even.
this
Oh my
is
God,
a,
this is
ambush
so
for the
stupid. You
National
can't even.
Guard
Oh,
convoy.
this is America.
amazing
It's
to think
not.
that this
I don't
just
even
exists
go.
right across our border. That
What,
we
you're
share a
saying the
border
bulk,
with
buying
this-
in bulk's
we share a
American? Oh, I
border
better
with these
be.
people.
Boston Tea
With
Party.
this level of
For all that tea in the
people
break.
got that on their beach vacations, dudes
Gotta
just
go.
like sitting there with their Coronas and their margaritas as the city burns around them. Wild, dystopian. Look at people just sitting out lounging.
I agree. It's stupid, right?
Flabby white whales just sitting there like helpless. Dude, you're going to be taken hostage. What the hell are you doing? Look at this. CNG cartels attempting and failing to set a gas station on fire. Look at this. They're covering everything in gasoline. That's crazy. This is insane. Straight up terrorism. Cartel members burn cars, take over the airport. Total and complete anarchy. They're setting up roadblocks all around and setting vehicles on fire. This is in response to the Mexican military killing cartel leader, ME-N-CHO. Again, this is just, look at this. This is like day after tomorrow stuff, like people just like driving down the road, like trying to get around.
armed men hijack a civilian's car. The cartels showed no regard for innocent people. This is like the image of what the cartel members look like. Good reminder that Mexico is a quasi-narco state. Parts of it are under the cartel control. They are always one assassination away from completely destroying all stability. Coordinated attacks across Mexico in total and complete military operation. Look at that. Yeah. Here is the map of the narco war that is ongoing right now in Mexico. These people are on the other side of our border. These people are on the other side of our border, and we have no security for 4 years under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Just think about that.
Yeah,
Flight
this is
Tracker
I
shows
would pull
that a
my
bunch
hair
of
out
US
because
flights
you know
that were
what? It's
bound
okay.
for
They're
Mexico
just
are now turning
fine. This people,
around.
everybody just
Mexico
don't
says the
look at the
US assisted in the
problem,
operation
and maybe
to
nothing
capture
will
El-Mencho
happen.
and to kill him. El-Mencho was
Oh,
reportedly
God.
captured alive during the operation, but he died
Sickening.
while being transported to Mexico City. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. U.S. played a role. That means U.S. citizens are not safe due to the ongoing security operations related blockages to effectively stay and shelter in place until further notice. Total chaos at the terminal. Crazy, man. People are just running for their lives. Yeah. Listen up. This just hit nuclear levels. Tell you what. Look at that. There is a apocalypse unfolding. Cartel scum retaliating like rabid dogs, torching vehicles. Plumes of black smoke charring the sky. This isn't a skirmish. This is a precision-engineered chaos bomb exploding in a rotten core of a nation strangled by narco terror. These savages aren't just fighting back. They're reminding the world that Mexico's government is a facade. It's a puppet show run by invisible strings dipped in fentanyl and fear. F the cartels and the corrupt officials that let it fester.
The one thing that they did good with the fentanyl, they think, so that's what it says. I mean, good, as in like the one thing they did relentlessly without halting.
Holiday resorts in Mexico are
They
packing up
adopted
and telling
Chinese
their guests to leave immediately because
policies of
massive gang war.
opioids and just being able to mass produce and dump, and then they raise the prices. So then even if they like kill half the population and they get 5 a pill, they're still making the same amount of money. It's pretty disgusting.
ladies and
And
gentlemen,
I'm not even going to sit
get
there
ready.
and say that it's even
What's going to happen next
like
is that they're
slightly
going-
okay.
that
Like we shouldn't
the,
even
Trump
for a
administration is gonna
second
see this
consider
as
these people
open
human.
season.
Like
They're
in
gonna
a way,
probably,
like
and this is
it's
horrible, I'm so sad
more
that I
than
have to say
terrorism
this,
here.
They're going to probably take American
And like if you
hostages.
don't see
Bad
that,
things are going
you're
to
blind.
happen,
And if you're
and
blind, it's
the,
okay because
situation
we'll
is gonna
save you.
deteriorate
No, we
quickly.
won't because you're probably going to
And
be
then
the
this is
next
going to
lamb that's
spawn
slain. And
greater cartel
I just
war
don't
across the
understand why
border.
people are
Then we're gonna
so
have war
so
on
out of
war.
their mind. They think that it's okay to
It's
do
going to be
this.
wild.
It's
Trump
not.
administration's talked about this for a long time. I didn't know it'd be popping off right now, but here it is. Okay, are you prepared, ladies and gentlemen? The hell out of Mexico. Pray for our troops. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll follow this closely. See ya.
Yo, that's wild. The old 5 shots of no crit, that never happens. What the fuck? Bro, I would have took out Pushy. This is insane. Did I like not do it right? No, I did it right. Here we go.